Hello, pilgrims. You're listening to episode number 3 of the Applebutter podcast. This one was just too easy. We just passed around a bottle of Fireball and chit-chatted for over 2 hours. It was a blast. My guests this week were the Reverend Funky D, who is a staple of the local music scene and has been for a long time, as well as just a really good guy and one of my good buddies that I like to chit-chat with. And also on the show this week, we had Cody and Jenelle Bean, who Cody Bean is the creator of the Hometeam rally. You might know him as the Viking guy because he always wears the Viking horns everywhere. And of course, this week we were also joined by my lovely wife, Mrs. Shannon Biz. I hope you guys enjoy listening to this as much as I enjoyed making it, because this one was a blast. Seriously, have a good one, everybody.
Hey, 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 my brother. Hey, 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 my brother.
That you talk about, or you just
Not really. I mean, we just kind of.
I'm not prepared.
I've got a couple of things to talk about, but nothing in particular. We just kind of chit chat. That's the thing. Yeah, I just want everybody to hang out because the whole premise of it was I've got too many cool friends that I have too many cool conversations with not to record.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I agree. I think it's a great idea.
So I just try to make it a lot more relaxed than like a traditional radio setup. Like I know a lot of people have done the radio and everything, and it can be. You can get clammed up, and I'm especially guilty of it. I use radio voice. Like as soon as I'm on the radio, I'm like, "Hi,
hi, I'm Kyle.
This is Kyle."
So, and this is also, I mean, to be totally honest, this is also a way for me to kind of conquer that. Like the more I feel like, the more and more I sit in front of a microphone and talk, the easier it'll be the next time I do go to WMNF or wherever. You know.
You're right.
Do you have another ashtray?
Oh yeah, I'll give you this one.
Got you. Yeah, I think it's a cool thing because you're out there and you're walking around and there's people and they see you and this that, but then they get to hear you and like get to know like just like your conversations with your people.
Well, it's
just being I don't know, like I feel like when I'm out there, there's people recognize me and they come up to me whether they know me or not, and it's conversation and it's this, that, and the other, but it's always like small talk, and you always want to like see certain people, you're like, I want to get to know them better or this, that, and the other, but like I never want anyone to feel like I'm like ever putting them off, like you know what I mean, because it's like a lot of people come up and they're like, oh, talk, and I'm like super, and I want to be the nicest guy, I'm there, and I am interested in what everyone says, and I don't want to. I don't want
everybody.
You can't.
You cannot talk to everybody. It's not possible.
I just feel like a lot of people don't like when I'm there, especially when I'm at a gig. It's harder for you because you're not. I'm working. Like I'm on the clock, man. I've been off the stage for 15 minutes. It's time for me to get started. I'm sorry, I gotta cut you off in the middle of the story, but I gotta get back on stage right now, and that's hard to do. That's not easy.
Nope.
Yeah.
My big thing is remembering names, though I'm terrible.
Me too.
at
I'm
it.
horrible too.
That's why Dennis Stadman taught me a very good trick. It's always good to see you, never nice to meet you.
Here's another good one. Here's another one for you. How are you and yours?
Yeah.
I'm always like, hey, what's up, brother? What's up, brother?
But the real point is being able to recognize those people that you do see around, even if you don't know their name. Like them, the feeling that you have when you're with them. You are happy to see them. You give them a genuine hug. Everything's genuine.
Yep.
You just can't remember names.
Well, and it's not.
I agree.
I feel like I'm screwed in that thing because how many Codys do you know? And then how many Codys that wear Viking helmets, So when you meet me, you're like, oh, that's fucking Cody with the Viking helmet. Like, everyone remembers my name. I'm not a Dave or a John. Yeah. And like, everyone remembers. And then I look like, hey, Cody. I'm like, oh, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Like, it's and it's not that I don't know him. It's just there's so many faces out there,
It's also easier too because you're when you're with Jenelle. Like if they're not sure if it's you, they can look right next to you and say, "Oh, it's Jenelle."
Yeah.
And that
exactly.
Like I can go walking around like the morning at OBJ, or like say I played on Friday night at OBJ. I can walk around Saturday morning by myself, and no one will really say anything. But as soon as Shannon gets up and walks around with me, it's like Applebutter, great set last night. Like, they recognize us together, but me by myself, not really.
And then with that being said, like it's funny, like now to the point where I'm at, where I wear the horns all the time. The nights that I don't wear the horns, I feel more awkward than I like walking around in St. Pete. I feel more awkward not having.
It's like
the
a musician
horns
with
on.
a night off.
Yeah, not having the horns on.
Whenever we go to bars, like just going out.
Yeah.
Feels awkward. It's weird, you know. You don't know what to do with yourself, you know. And you find that you drink too much because you're not, you're just not used to like standing around drinking.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Exactly.
No clue right now. Just put a drink in there and here we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
That happens to me quite a bit.
But then like I'll be there and I won't have my horns on, and someone who knows me walks right by me. I'm like,
Yeah,
right here, bro. You know,
I still recognize you.
I know who you are.
Do you have any friends on Facebook that you just keep on Facebook to watch the train wreck? Just to watch? Like, you don't even... Like, I've got people on my Facebook page that I don't know. I know for a fact... Well, I can't say I know for a fact, but I'm 90% sure I've never met them in my whole life. I don't know how they ended up friend requesting me or whatever, but...
Yeah.
Just some of the shit people post, man. It's like a soap opera. I can't wait to watch it.
All of Facebook is like that for me. Actually, it's more of a voyeur, kind of thing than anything.
That's what I was gonna say. Sometimes I feel
watching
guilty.
society unfold. You
use the key word voyeur. The voyeurism of it. Like I sometimes I feel guilty. Like I shouldn't be using this for entertainment purposes.
Right.
Somebody's life and
Someone's
problems.
like, life is in shambles right now, but
They're putting it out there. Janelle said it the best. They're the ones putting it out there on Facebook. So I don't feel that bad.
And I had recently one friend tell me about another friend that had some really bad thing happen, and they talked about it to somebody else. So then the other friend got all pissed off because they were talking about their stuff, and then they're like, you put it on Facebook. And you're mad at me for talking to that person about you?
Yeah, can't.
Really?
Can't be.
Can't do that.
You made it public. Can't do it.
No, I don't want to do none of that.
Funky D, we've got Funky D in here with us today. We've got the originator, the creator of the Hometeam rally, and just like the Hometeam in general. And we have his wife Jenelle in here, who is his sidekick and partner in crime, along with my sidekick and partner in crime, Shannon. And I said Funky D, right?
Yeah, but you didn't say
you
Cody.
did not say Cody.
I didn't say
Well, it's Cody. Yeah.
It's
In
Cody.
case you didn't know, it's me. It's me.
Introduce his persona.
I'm that guy.
The Viking guy, the dude with the helmet.
Viking guy.
Anyways, but D, you had a great post on Facebook today. It was what was your first concert and how did it affect you? And my first concert was the Oak Ridge Boys.
Yeah, I loved your post because Oak Ridge by choice, Weird Al. Oh no, Oak Ridge by
force.
By force, and Weird Al Yankovic by choice. I was like,
Yeah.
that is very. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't really
Makes
by
perfect
force.
sense.
My dad got free tickets. My dad worked for Miller Beer for 30 years, and he'd get free tickets to stuff. And he got free tickets to the Oak Ridge Boys for some odd reason, and we all went. And I just remember that. I think I fell asleep like 3/4 of the way through it. But the first concert I ever picked that I want to go see that was Weird Al at the Waukesha County Fair.
That makes sense. The Ted Nugent concert,
Makes
I only
sense.
went to. I was like 11. It was like maybe 74, 75, something like that. I was really young, and we were just the dumb kids who wanted to go to a concert. We'd heard of Ted, and that whole thing was big. But seeing Humble Pie and Mother's Finest was way more for me. It just changed like my entire scope or view of music.
Yeah.
Completely.
So 75, 76, that would have made you like what, 25, 30 then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, tell me to fuck off. You can tell me to fuck off.
Yeah, I'm long in the tooth. It's okay.
I'm just fucking with you.
I bet my wife is younger than yours.
Oh shit! True story.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. What was your first concert, Cody?
My first concert, it was just fate put it there because I was on vacation with my father in Maine, and my older cousin Uriah liked Limp Bizkit at the time, and Limp Bizkit was like real hardcore, and he had like, big, nipple rings and tongue ring, and he's like, "You want to go to a concert?" I'm like, I'm on vacation with my cousin, let's go, and I went there, and it was scary. I was like 5'2", I was in there, and there were these two huge, like biker looking dudes, but they had like that kickboxer haircut with the giant, like bald everywhere.
Yeah,
but
shaved
like,
head, but
then like the giant ponytail, and they were in the mosh pit just wrecking people.
killing
And I'm like, I am not going near any, like, oh my God, like, I'm great. I'm 5'2", like, I'm good. Like, I love you, cousin. Have fun. And that was my first concert, and it was awesome. Like, it was cool for what it was, but I wasn't I wasn't big enough to go join the crew at the time. You know what I mean?
So you wouldn't call it a life-changing event? Like, I got to go back and do
I was
that.
like, you know what? That's not. That's definitely not my style.
I never really understood the mosh pit thing. I never really got that.
The only mosh pit I was ever in was actually one of the best shows I've ever seen, oddly enough, was a Megadeth concert. I saw Megadeth the day after 9/11. Oh, wow. And I don't know, I remember it because it was the day after 9/11. But holy shit, I got my ass handed to me. I walked out of that show black and blue.
I enjoyed mosh pits.
Some broken I think I broke my glasses. It was a wreck. Like
Dude,
I got one that was Badfish at Janice Landing. And Sublime, he started into a little mosh pit, and I had just wearing like Crocs at the time. And
you can't mosh in Crocs.
But for me, like I was not like moshing to like fuck people up. I was more or less dancing,
bouncing around,
and then getting fucked up at the same time, which was fun. I was all right with it, and then I lost one of my Crocs, and I see it, and then I go to get it, and I get I get this fucking slammed, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. And I grab my other one and just throw my other one. I'm like, I lost my Crocs. And I'm back into it. So then everything, after all the night's done, I'm barefoot. I'm on my way out of Janice. And I look down next to the light pole, and someone had found them separate and put them right there. And I'm like,
God.
Oh, fuck yeah. I slept and they were mine because, they were worn into my feet. I walked out of that place like, fucking what a great night. That was a win.
Those Crocs made you a target in that mosh pit. They were like, get the dude with the Crocs. High elbows with the dude with the Crocs.
Once I lost sight of it, I'm like, fuck it. I'm in the middle of the mosh pit. Let's just go for it.
They're gone. I wouldn't want to be in a mosh pit with your brother.
No, not at all.
Your brother Adam seems like he's in his own personal mosh pit all the time anyways.
You can catch an elbow at any time.
Right, you can catch an elbow at any time.
For that matter.
Dude.
Those knees go high.
He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't even mean to be in a mosh pit. He just creates his own. It's impressive.
He is. He's like the
Give
Tasmanian
the dog
devil.
a bone.
Just come on in there.
That was the line of Home Team Rally this year. Giving the dog a bone.
He's the
last one was the
one-liner
cat's out
king,
of
though.
bag now.
Every festival, every festival he comes out with something that just cracks me the fuck up. And then I'll see him the next time and I'll say it to him. He's like, "What's that mean?" I don't know where you're getting that. I'm like, "You wouldn't stop
that shit
repeating
for 2 months since you said it.
He's like
that
one.
reminds me of the Georgia bus ride.
We're
God.
drinking heavy. We're drinking heavy.
At 8 o'clock in
boys.
the morning.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the best
to
was
this
the
day,
steak
I
face.
can't believe
Steak
that
face.
we all made it home from that
Remember that
trip.
Golden Corral? And he's like,
That was
How did we all get home?
Okay, so when we were leaving before we left for that trip, I was telling the rest of our band, Matt and Joe, about it, and Joe was like, seriously had some reservations.
Joe did not wanna
He's
go.
like, look, it sounds like fun, but I don't want to ride up there on the. He kept calling it the drug bus.
Change your life.
When I had talked to Tony about it, he's like, and everything's cool. It's a smoking bus. We can smoke on the bus. I'm like, cool. So I was telling Joe about it. I mentioned it's a smoking bus ride. I hope that doesn't bother you. And then he says, I don't want to ride up there on the drug bus. And my exact words were, dude, nobody's going to be smoking weed on the bus.
way.
There's no way that people will smoke weed on the bus. It'll just be cigarettes. And he's like, oh, okay. We get on that bus. We hadn't even left the goddamn parking lot before that thing looked like a friggin' Cypress Hill concert going on in the bus. And then I went to light up a cigarette, and everyone was like, no, you can't do that in here.
I was there, and I'm a non-cigarette smoker, so I wasn't the one to say no, but I wasn't the one to like have your back. I'm like,
Right.
like
Exactly.
come on.
Yeah, no, right. Be
It
respectful,
is what
bro.
it is.
But I just remember specifically telling Joe, no, they're not going to do
no
that
way
on
they're
the
gonna-
bus.
I got
How
lucky
did-
at the end of that.
Therefore,
I
all the
thought
cigarette
that-
smokers are like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I thought that driver was going to make it one exit up the freeway, pull right off, and drive us right back.
Yeah.
I did not. He
We
was
took
cool, though.
we took the RV back with Jim and Dawn.
Yeah.
Which was, man, we were so happy. We were like Snapchatting everybody. We were like, sending pictures.
God.
Look how comfy we are.
But you know what? So
drunk
you
as
know
hell at the
how
fucking Golden
what
Corral.
Was it hot on the way down, or
It was hot
it was
both
hot?
ways.
No,
It
it
was
was
hot.
cold home.
What were,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was
Oh
cold.
yeah,
It
that's
Finally
right.
got
Like
the AC
nighttime,
working
yeah.
on the way back. I just had to clean the freaking filters.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is we got this Comeback Alice organized this whole trip with us, our band Applebutter Express, and Comeback Alice and Sean Legacy all played in Macon, Georgia, and they rented a charter bus to take all of our friends and us to Macon. So we all got on this bus, and it just wasn't the best conditions, really. It kind of...
It was a rough ride.
It was a rough ride. It was a ton of fun. I'll
Least you're on
I'll
it,
never
you're
forget
committed,
it.
though.
Yeah,
It was an
fun.
adventure. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it was-
I just remember the bus driver at the gig. He was knocking
Pounded.
a few drinks back, man. He was not
Back.
anybody.
Grabbing
And then
ass.
it was time to get on the
Grabbing
bus.
hell
He sat up with us in that hotel parking lot.
Yeah.
Till 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Don't you gotta drive tomorrow, bro?" He's like, "Man, no
it's
worries."
all
I'm like, "No
right.
worries, bro."
Right.
Like,
Imagine
Check
know
out
what,
11,
though.
man.
Hey,
Yeah. Hence getting on the RV.
I just and the bathrooms like almost overflowed. I remember Marty.
oh, it smells so great in the back of the bus.
The bus smelled awesome. It just
Every
smelled
time you
like
looked
a
at like
porta
me,
john.
we were like, it's like that bitter beer face. You're like, oh, it smells like hot
Shut
urine
that door,
back here.
man.
I remember Marty.
Cigarettes and hot urine when they come out of there. It's horrible.
I just remember Marty from the Comeback Alice crew walking back there, opening the door to the bathroom, going, "Well, that's just a hole in a bus. That's not a bathroom. That's just a hole in a bus. It doesn't flush or anything." And we stopped. We stopped at a Burger King on the way up there, and like it was to the brim full. The toilet was, and the bus
Drinking
driver,
heavy.
the bus
Drinking
driver.
heavy.
Well, we everybody goes in to get some food, and while we're in there, the bus driver must have pulled the plug in the middle of the friggin' parking lot because there was
Yeah.
just a
There was, like-
fucking lake of piss
Yeah.
streaming from the
Dog
bus,
out
and I'm going,
there.
dude, you just Dave
So
Matthews.
awful.
What was the name of that bus company?
Oh, right?
And I put a Hometeam sticker on the back of that bus.
Oh, that's exactly what Dave Matthews Band did to get in trouble, but it landed on a ferry full of people in Chicago.
Yeah, and I had a friend.
No,
who
you
witnessed
noticed
it.
that
It was
this
horrible.
sticker is in almost every picture that is ever was over
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like
that's
you're always in my pictures.
Yep, I got a bunch of the Viking guy stickers on my road cases too. He like
I love it.
everywhere I'm carrying stuff.
I like
Those
how-
were great.
I like how for a lot
Yeah,
of people
thank you
it's
to
become.
Daniel Shockley for.
Yeah, she
Oh,
did
yeah.
a great
Oh, she
job at
rocks.
that.
She did that
rocks.
painting back there of us. It was our
Yeah.
wedding
Oh my
gift.
God.
She did
I
our
got one of
wedding
those from her.
sticker, my Homer sticker.
Yeah.
Like we got the whole family by Danielle. But yeah, it ends up being like a lot of people's like first sticker on a lot of things,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Like the only one
Oh,
on
you
a
know
trailer,
what? I
the
go, okay,
only
so I
one
have
on
this
an
quick story.
instrument.
This kid came up to me, and I didn't, he's Hometeam's. I don't know his name. Either way, he came up to me. He's like, Cody, I was on Craigslist looking for a new car the other day. Saw it, great. Went there, look at it. There's your face is on it. I don't know the other guy. But look at him like, you're Hometeam, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. Fuck yeah, it's like Fight Club. But
Yeah, you
like,
got right.
It better
you
not
know,
buy
you're
that
like,
car,
I know,
man.
I know who you
You've
are.
gone
yeah.
viral.
You're gonna give me that home team discount, and met a new friend and bought a car. It was a great story.
That's
But
awesome.
I don't know who that kid was. If you know who you are, then find me. Tell me who you are.
Just if anybody doesn't know Cody that's listening, Cody is the Viking guy. Cody is any local band's best friend because you know that if Cody will come to your show, he'll bring 10 or 15 other people with him that just come to wherever he's going, at least. And I just want to kind of get into like how Hometeam started. I kind of know a little bit of the backstory. It was kind of a plan B.
Plan B, yeah, exactly.
Bonfire refugee camp.
The bond. There was a festival set for New Year's Eve. What was it? 2011.
4 years ago.
10,
4
yeah,
years ago.
turning into
It's already been that long.
12. Turning
know.
into 12, I think.
It still hurts because we were booked on that one on Bonfire.
Everyone was. That's
yeah.
what I mean. Like I'm
Right.
like, well then.
It was Parliament
Screw it. Like, let's do it. Like, I'm
Parliament
going to state right
Funkadelic,
now.
a whole bunch of great bands, and it got canceled very, very last minute, like literally a couple of days before the whole thing. And so Cody hired Zach Deputy. Oh, did I get it wrong already?
No,
She
I
was
got
telling
it.
me I was being loud.
And then
My
you
sweet
moved
wife.
it closer to it.
I'll just talk slower.
So Cody threw a party at his house and basically hired a bunch of the bands that were on the Bonfire Fest and had a
Yeah,
big
it was-
party.
Well, so
Yeah.
like
Zach
like the
Deputy,
story,
legendary
the thing-
JCs were even there.
Yep.
Everyone
Squeezed
was
on
like,
our
well,
little corner
no one had a
porch.
gig. All the best bands from our area.
We're all
had
booked
up and
no place
gig,
to go, yeah.
And then the week, like they were all supposed to be at this thing, and then a week before, it's like, sorry everyone, you all lose. So I'm like, I got 6 acres. I'm building a stage right now. Let's make it happen. Screw it. Everyone come to my place, and then we linked it together. TJ, he helped me.
Yep.
It's
On a weird
everything.
side note,
everyone came
my wife
together.
and I fell in love at that party.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we totally did.
And I remember.
I mean, we
you
were
know,
dating, but that was like the first time that she made it to dawn with me. You know, and then first time I
Love it,
realized that
first
she might be able to outdrink me.
That's adorable.
Well, one thing I don't even know if you realized this, but it occurred to me that was our first gig as a full band with all four members. That was our
That
first
was
show.
the first of a lot of
amazing?
things. We met Shay and all of them for the
Yeah.
first time
Everyone.
there.
Well, that's the
they
thing,
Came
like,
out,
all these awesome
and
bands
their first
told
thing
their
doing
friends to
Rising
come.
Light was at
Yeah.
the first home team at Maddox.
Oh yeah.
So it's been the first for a lot of people for a
Yeah.
lot of things.
That's awesome.
You know, we ended up getting engaged at the first home team at Maddox.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
But that was
So,
beautiful, by the way. That
you
was
know.
awesome.
Why not? You know.
Well, you
Yeah.
got engaged at Maddox, and I mean, you guys are fresh off a wedding. You guys are newlyweds here.
Yeah.
Cody and Jenelle are.
Absolutely.
I talked a lot about your wedding on the last podcast. I don't know if you listened to the last one. And I talked a lot.
Behavior at your wedding.
We're gonna get to listen to the other one, but I got a gist of what it was, and when you first told me about it, I didn't know if it was gonna be on video or what it was. But
Oh,
it's
no,
just, yeah, it's great. It's well, I'm like, come on, yeah, bring it. Ask me whatever you want. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
No, but so since that first party, like, what do you feel like was the big moment where you like, we've got something here that
Well,
we
what
need
it was,
to...
the moment was when thinking about the next year. I'm like, all right, so then when like that was awesome and it was amazing. Like, what festival are we going to next year? Where are we going home? Like, what are we doing
for New Year's?
for New Year's? And then nothing existed, and I'm like, Golden Goose Egg. Let's fucking do like that was the best New Year's I had ever had. Weather was great. If you can get away with it anywhere, it's in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no festival going on in Florida for New Year's. Come on, like
Kind of a no-brainer.
I
It
was
really
like,
is.
let's
It really
do it.
is.
But then like, you know, the key to a
Naming it.
festival is naming it, you know,
Yeah.
and the name was like, that's the best decision I ever made in my life was naming it the name that I named. You know, if it was like the, you know, Winter Solstice Jam, blah, 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 I'd be like, oh, yeah, let's all go to the Winter. Well, you know, like, it was Home Team, but, like, you guys helped me. Like, you were like, you know what? That is the name. How many names did we throw around? I don't even remember the other ones.
Well, the name itself came from that being a
It's like a
loving
reference
term
to,
for
like,
somebody
oh,
else
you
that
don't
you
know-
do
oh,
see
you
around.
don't know
You
Kyle,
might not
he's
know
Home
their
Team.
name.
Right.
You
Yeah.
might
He's
not
Home
know
Team.
what they're about. You might not know what they do.
But they're
you know,
Home Team.
but you
They're
see
Home
them repeatedly supporting the local musicians, going out, having a good time, being themselves. And you're like, these people are Home Team. And like that was just
Well, and the
what
bottom
a
line
name
is like,
for it.
and the
Yeah.
bottom line is when it came down to it, when push came to shove and the other festival failed, who were we taking care of? Our Home Team.
Yep.
It was the Home Team. All the Home Team. All the same people are still coming back every year. You know, whether they're
And now
fans
bringing
or
their
in the
friends and
band,
their
you know,
family
and their
and- yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
and we're growing. And you know, but like the name Home Team, like who's ever proud to be on the away team? No, he's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm away team, fuck yeah. Like you don't
Well,
ever hear that.
there are
Like,
those.
There are
Well, there are those, but they don't. But those people, but you know what? Like the good people are the Home Team, and we'll find each other.
A
It's no
home
big
team
deal.
isn't something that you have to apply for or be accepted for or be approved for. It's not like there's a process to get into it. You're a home team if you just are a good person and you do the right
That's
thing
right.
and you enjoy life and having fun and listening to the music and meeting people and like that's what it's all about and that's
Yep.
all
and
it
be
is.
yourself. And be yourself. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter. There's like nothing. Like whatever. Whether you're Democratic, Republican, you know, Christian, Jew, whatever. You just be a good person. You help your people around you, and you are Home Team. You've been Home Team. If you're that kind of person, you're Home Team. You just never knew it.
definitely.
You know. Now you know. I guess you know.
I think it's just an really easy group to fall in with, to make a lot of friends
'Cause you can
really
be
fast.
yourself.
Yep.
Exactly.
We were before our big turning point really was meeting, a couple of different people, but when we met Bud Green and Cope and D, before we met them, we were ready to move. I wasn't a huge fan of where I was.
We didn't know anybody.
Oh yeah, we didn't know anybody. All I knew was University of South Florida, and
Yeah.
it didn't strike me. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And we were about to boot out, but then we started singing songs at open mic nights, and that's how we met Bud Green.
Bud Green invited us to the Humdinger. That's how we met you.
Yep.
Bud Green's festival, the Humdinger Fest. And then we met Cope at Wani Fest, and we just fell in love with everybody. We
Absolutely.
just, and that was before it had a name or anything. And
Well, it was Family Land before it was Hometeam.
It was Cope Family.
Cope
Yeah.
Family Land.
It was
is
Family
where-
Land. Well, Family
at
Land
Swanee,
was
at
long
least, the
before
name.
Cope, though.
Yeah.
That goes back. That's 25 years back.
Well, and that's kind of reason
yeah.
I had both of you guys on, because D has been in some of the like originator bands in Tampa that have spawned this whole thing that we've got now.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to get everybody's perspective on like
Absolutely. I agree.
where the scene is at and everything. I think it's cool to have somebody that was in some of the original stuff going on, like Buffalo Strange, before there was even Cope, and have a guy that's
pieces of the
And
background.
I've
love
always
it.
like outside. I've always, I'm like a fan first. Like everything happened, where I'm at right now, just like found me in a sense. But I've always had a huge respect for D, because you've been in this. You've seen 20 years of like what the music scene is, and you respect me.
I love what
and
you're doing. I
feel
love
like-
what you're doing,
and
man.
I
It's
feel
you know.
like, oh my god, like I know, like it makes my light brighter when people like you are like, you're doing good.
I was
Yeah.
raised in a scenario that was called SCUM, which is a small town coalition of unified musicians, way back in Virginia, and it was the same idea, and it was the same sort of thing. You know what I mean? It was always like passing it to the next generation and bringing people in and getting people together and just uniting musicians and the fans in a thing. You know what I mean? And I came from that to this, and saw like a pretty good potential for it, especially with Family Land, Glory Road.
Yep.
A huge
Definitely.
part of what
Definitely.
what created this whole thing. I mean, there was a community. I mean, even the Coke Boys actually lived there for a while, and that was like they were like the first true supporters of
And then you talk about Skippers. Like
Yeah,
Skippers,
yeah.
like for me, Skippers is how I found everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where I met you.
Yeah.
I definitely plan on having some of the guys from Uncle John's band come on the podcast. I think they're
That would be so cool. They've been there for 14 years.
Yep. Just-
Every Thursday.
yeah. It's pretty amazing thing how
Hold
many
it down.
things.
They've got to see a
For
lot
me,
of
like
ways.
that, like for me, like Skippers, like for me, and having that, it's like, it's like church in a sense, but not. It's like, on any given Thursday, say you move away for 3 years and you live in Ohio or whatever, then you come back and you happen to be in Tampa on a Thursday night. Where are you gonna be?
Just Skippers.
I'll be
Right.
Skipper Smokehouse.
Yeah.
If I'm not, that, and then when you go, I've been going there for 10 years, and like, you never know who's gonna be that random pop in on a random night. Like, I've been
sandwich
gone.
man.
Like,
Yeah.
you might miss that chance to see that person that you used to hang out with 5 years ago.
First shot of the podcast. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Cat was in the blinds. Had to nerf him.
I want one of
Stand
those.
down. Stand down.
Stand down, sir.
Oh no. Well, I mean, another thing about Skippers with the Thursday thing is I think that like part of Home Team coming together also is that too, because you would have people that would come from everywhere just to go there because it was a good vibe, because of all the people that you would see regularly, the spider web begins. You meet these people that somewhere down the line you're introduced to those people, and then they already know those people. Oh well, yeah.
If somebody is at a Grateful Dead night at Skippers, you know that you share a certain,
Yes,
that at
something
least
in
that
common,
one certain
yeah.
thing. You've got that,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
there's no telling how far those connections will
right.
take you.
Well,
and go.
speaking of like Grateful Dead and the fans and kind of just the unity of the whole thing, I was on a flight coming home from Oklahoma, and there was a girl on a seat on the road, like kind of catty corner, like away. Anyway, so I was talking to the person next to me, blah, 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 and talked about like Skippers and Grateful, like all of that. Well, I'm getting off the plane, and she stopped me and said, I want to give you this. And she gave me like this banner, like this Grateful Dead banner. And she was like just coming back home from like being gone for a while. And like I told her about the place. She was like, where is this? She just wanted to give that to me.
Yep.
And I friended her. I told her about Home Team and all of that. So it's neat how that happens.
Yeah, it's the law of attraction. It
Yeah.
really is. It's like if you build something and you're conscious about how you do it, like-minded people will gather. you know, and then you have a thing, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens all over the country, you know, which is another thing I love about what you're doing is you're talking about like, let's get this going everywhere.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
spread
Every
it out.
place
You know,
has a home.
I actually
think
have
it should.
just
I
as
think it
a
should.
side note, I have people from the California music scene hitting me up and calling me up, going, "Dude, how do we get to St. Pete?"
Yeah. you know what it is? You know what it is like, I remember, you know, when I moved to Florida, like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, Asheville, there's a scene there. There's a scene there. There's a scene there.
Yeah, I feel
well,
like
guess what? We're
homelessness.
creating a scene.
Yeah.
And people, like, if you live in other places in Florida, you look at what we do over here and you're like, you know what? I want to try to move over there. And we are on ground level of creating it into art, like, being recognized for the kind of scene that we are.
Yeah.
But I think that it, like, this area will be a if you want to live in Florida and you like the things that we like, I think that Tampa and St. Pete is the place you want to be.
Musicians are flocking here too. It
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
from other parts of Florida. Like I know people that, you know, have lived in Orlando and Jacksonville and Gainesville that have all moved here. And honestly, I think a big part of it is we just have more venues with live music.
Yeah.
I mean, to my knowledge,
Well,
I
and we
mean,
have some support. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need more.
Well,
we need more
you know,
audience.
and not only that,
but we
it's-
do
it's
have
like,
some.
It's the Twin City thing. There's two cities a bridge
Right.
apart. Like
Yeah.
that's like, come on,
Well,
teamwork right there.
it is amazing to me, like how that bridge does separate it though. Like some people just
It's
treat it like
crazy.
the other side of that
It's like
bridge
an
is
hour. That's
Timbuktu.
an hour.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like it's
true.
an hour.
It's not.
It's an extra hour.
It's
I
not.
know
No,
it is.
It's
I mean,
really
It's just
not,
frightening
though.
for them, though. You know, the bridge is frightening for because you know you're not going to go to a show and you know be all good. You know,
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
you're
Be
not,
well
you know.
behaved, right?
Yeah,
No, I
exactly.
understand.
So
You can't
if
just
you-
decide to take a cab home because that is a big difference.
that's
Well,
a-
and I think
that's
my
a-
opinion is a little bit jaded too, or tainted. It's tainted because we do it so much. We're back and forth across that bridge
yeah, you have
twice
to.
a week,
You have to.
at least, you know. So I'm so
Yeah.
used to going over the bridge, and it's not a problem. But some people really do treat it like it's Timbuktu, like it's a foreign
getting
country.
the fans to do it's really hard, especially if you live in St. Pete.
Well, then you live so close to everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that everything is a $5 cab ride.
Right.
You know, everything is. And once you take the $5 cab ride, there's like 5 or 6 venues with great music within walking distance. You know, I mean, it's just everywhere.
Here's another thing between Tampa and St. Pete and all the different places that you can play live. Like, yeah, St. Pete has become like a really concentrated area of it, but Tampa has a lot of good places too.
Oh, it sure
a lot
does.
of the problem is people don't really know where everyone's playing to be able to plan things out. Like you might be, oh wait, I just happened to be in Dunedin tonight. Wait, bloop bloop bloop. Let me see who's playing.
out.
To have a calendar, like even like an interactive kind of home team calendar sort
Jam
of.
bass.
Jam bass is good.
It's good. People just don't use it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, like,
and
how do you know how to get your stuff
there's
on
this
there?
weird
It's
thing
one
with
of those where
social
it's great
media
to
that
use,
happens
but-
is, it's like people try to do Facebook or whatever. Or I've learned that one of the best things is like text messages and Snapchat.
Yeah.
Are great ways to get people to understand. I mean, because it's a personal thing that comes to their phone. They don't have to look it up. It just pops up on their phone.
Right.
They look at it and then it goes away. So it's not like super annoying.
Yeah.
You know. But then you got to get them to join your Snapchat.
Right.
Or get
Yeah.
the phone number. You know.
A whole nother thing. Because the problem with Facebook is you can post. I see posts all the time from 3 days ago.
It ends up
Right.
jumbled.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
just
yeah,
gets
yeah, it
lost
gets all
in the.
If there's a way for someone literally just to pull up a picture of a calendar of that month and it say, oh, these are playing here and they're there and
a
they're
good idea.
there, because
Yeah,
then you
definitely.
would get more of that wide,
Yeah.
broad radius.
Well, you
There's
know what?
there's an
And
app.
this
Because
is
they don't
another
know that you're
idea.
there.
There's a Google
Right.
Calendar app that you can connect your calendar to other people's calendars.
Yeah.
If we got smart and like got everyone to start connecting their calendars
Yeah.
together,
Yep.
you know, then it would all be one calendar.
All right, so
You
this
know?
is this is an idea. I mean, I've been throwing around. We can talk about it. I'll talk about it right now. I think that Home Team should have like a home team, like an All Stars night, one time a month. Whether like no matter like maybe whether it's at one certain place or whether it's
A traveling thing.
or a traveling thing where like
Kinda, yeah.
but
The different
it's
venues.
because home team fans like we're spread out because there's so many awesome bands and everyone's like wants to support everyone, but if we just did like a one like say like the third Saturday of every month, home team all stars are going to be blah wherever we are.
Well, like
you know, or you have
I
or
caught the last waltz last night.
And the thing
in
is,
the
like
middle of
the
night, and that's exactly the same thing.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
it, the band was, like everybody's backup band for the longest time.
Yep.
And they did their last concert, and they just brought everybody together that they ever played with.
Yes.
You know, and did this giant show, and it's an amazing. If you've never seen the movie, you should watch that movie.
What is it?
It's called The Last Waltz by the band. Which, by the way, the first first professional drum gig of my life was with a guy named Bob Margolin, who's in that movie.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was awesome to like see him walk on stage as a young punk, you know. I was like, yay. You know?
yeah.
And I actually played with him for a while, so it's kind of like this cool thing for me to just see that movie. I always watch it every time it comes on.
Me too.
But I mean, we should definitely have our own Last Waltz kind of. I even thought tonight or last night I was thinking about it. I was like, wouldn't it be great if we had a show where we recreated the Last Waltz?
Somebody just did that in Orlando.
Did they really?
I think it was like the Dave Mann crew. What did they call
right on.
themselves?
Funkus.
No,
Jam Bando.
Jam Bando. I think it was like a Jam Bando event. I could be
Right
totally
on.
wrong
No,
on that.
that's cool.
But they did
I
it.
didn't know they did that.
Oh, I
was
was
like
so
that.
jealous.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I don't really know those guys that I don't. I know
You know
some
what?
of them,
Like,
but I've never
but
met
you know
them.
what the thing is? Like, home team has the talent to like say like, you know, next and I don't know the politics with the as far as the artists and everything, but maybe like have a band backline it for the night and then have them pick who they want to come in, or I don't really know. Like we just got to figure out that.
Definitely.
But say it's like Doors Month or Led Zeppelin, and then you just have like where you're not necessarily playing, you know, your music.
Well,
You're
we
just
did that. We
you're
did the
just
show at Skippers with
you're
Comeback
all-star
Alice,
jamming. You know.
Did the live at Fillmore, Allman Brothers,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
Holy Miss
exactly.
Holy did all Meters tunes.
Yep, the meters.
Cool.
I was there.
Yeah.
That was an amazing
That was
event.
that was fun. You know,
I bet.
I mean, you know, just things like that. I think are just cool things to do.
Well, no, I think that's a great idea to do it with home team.
You know, and then whether we can do it at the Blueberry Patch. And then but I think that if we
I
make
know,
it a
got the
regular,
books that
if we
place.
make it a regular thing, like where you every third Saturday of every month, and then all the bands know, like, hey, if you want to book your gig on that day, then that's fine. But like, a lot of people are going to be here.
Yeah.
You should make it.
Because all the
You should
home
make
team
it on a
fans
weekend.
want to be together.
If you want a night off and you want to,
You know what I mean?
I'm
I'm just being honest with you, and like you can book a gig,
Right.
but just know the home team all stars are going to be hanging out wherever we're
I mean,
at.
actually, speaking from a monetary side of things,
Yeah.
like I do some funny stuff when it comes to like booking against people, like with my cover band that none of you guys ever come to see. It's just like my working money project.
Yeah.
If I know there's a big hippie show somewhere, I know that first of all, there's going to be a lot of gigs available. So, and I can go out and put myself somewhere
Yeah.
just playing
Yeah,
cover
and
tunes.
that's fine,
And get paid that night.
Yeah, but I think that
it's a
if you
weird
had
technique, but
if you had like
Hey, that works, but even
bands
knowing that ahead of
backline-
time, you could be able to do
yeah,
that too.
exactly.
Yeah.
But if you had like a band back and they invite certain people, then everyone who gets invited gets paid. So you get like if you were or whatever and I don't know the politics of being on that end of it, but man, it would be awesome just to be able to have everyone just.
The only
Definitely.
problem is you got to watch out for those like unrehearsed jam nights.
Yeah.
sometimes those can get pretty.
Well, that's
brutal.
where like
Yeah.
that's where like if you had it be like
It's an
it's
idea.
a Doors night, and it's an idea exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Learn
just an
Doors
idea,
tunes.
and-
If everybody
and
learns
I-
Doors tunes, show up and play the Doors.
whatever.
There's
Yeah.
lots
Yeah.
of
Talk
ideas.
about
You
it.
have a
Make
whole
it a
month.
theme.
You have a whole month to talk about
We
it.
could go
You know,
on and
amongst
on
each
and on
other.
about all the different ideas that there are with it for the future. But like,
Well, let me just pitch one because I got one.
all right.
This is what I want to do for next year's pre-party for the home team pre-party because what I'm thinking is instead of having one of the home team bands do it, and this is going to take this is going to take participation and a little bit of work. But what if we did home team karaoke where everybody submitted
I'd love it.
instrumentals of their tracks
I'd love
and the
it.
lyrics, and we figured out a way
love it.
to do karaoke where anybody else could go sing
Yeah.
an Applebutter song or a Cope song or a Funky D tune.
Oh boy.
Like,
I think we got like a whole line.
I love it.
I mean, not only are we saving money, not hiring any of these assholes to play it, but I just think it's something a little bit different.
I think that'd be great.
People would kind of come out to.
Can
It
we
would be
do
cool.
it
The ball.
Right.
Definitely.
But the fun part is starting on it now.
Now, where would you
Yeah.
do that though? I mean, that would be like at
Oh,
the.
Southern
Probably like
Ground.
Southern
They always
Grounds.
have karaoke. That's exactly where we do it. And then we can have a
I mean, you're
live
talking
band
it's a
outside.
pre-party, so I mean,
Yeah, I was either thinking Southern Grounds, or what I would really love to do in my heart of hearts is do it at the Witch's Den. Do it in the
never
barbecue
been there.
place.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Been in there.
It's my favorite food. See, and
Dude,
that's
that
a
is some
problem,
good food,
man.
man.
That is a problem that you guys haven't been in there because it's so good. And I'm not shitting you just because it's Brett's. It's some of the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. And I would just love to bring some of the home team business in there. You know what I mean? Eat some barbecue, drink some good beer, and everybody's happy. I don't know why. I just think it would be fun to do it in there, just because I think a lot of people haven't gone in there yet that would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But home team karaoke party, it's a lot of work because not every band
we'll
has.
record all the tunes.
Well, not every band has instrumental tracks. Not every band has a record. Like
Right,
it makes it
right.
really hard. So there's a lot of logistical snafus in there to
I have a
solve.
recording
But
studio.
You guys are going to have to have a
Yeah.
whole album to choose from because everybody sings along with yours.
well, luckily, a lot of with our publisher, he makes us send instrumentals of every single thing we record.
so we have
So
those,
we
like,
have
pulled
our
out
instrumentals
already.
already done.
That's
It's just instrumentals with the vocals pulled out of them.
Well, it's
So we've
easy
got
for
our-
you to say to make the karaoke.
Right,
And
exactly.
everyone else tighten up. Everyone else tighten up. Kyle's all good to go.
But that's how I got the idea. Was just when we started making those, I was like, man, we can make a karaoke record now out of our stuff, and I bet you that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You could have your own like Applebutter karaoke CD with the bouncing ball and like with the.
And that's
all
the other
lyrics.
part of it. I got to figure out in this plan is how do we get the words with the little bouncing ball? We got to figure that part out too, because it can't just be a sheet of paper because they'll mess it up. It's got to be like
I
rhythmic.
would
You know
need
what I
it
mean?
too, you know, I mean, I pretend to know all the
Or just the
lyrics.
changing
right.
of the
They're
colors
gonna
as
have
it
a
goes.
bouncing
Oh, well, there's so many millions and millions of songs that I think I know every word to until I get up there with the microphone. I'm like, oh, no, I don't remember any of this. This is bad.
Well, it's those songs where you have that section where you never did know the words and you always just
Or you just,
and you just kind of mutter through it until you're looking at the words trying to do it.
or even worse,
That's
you've got
what
the
makes
words
karaoke
wrong.
so awesome too, you know.
Yeah.
Shannon catches me all the time. It breaks my heart sometimes when I figure out what the lyrics of songs really are, that I've been singing them wrong for 100 years. There was a Weezer song.
This one's hilarious.
The real lyric is, it's
all your fault.
Mama. It's all your fault. And I thought it was, I saw you fuck, Mama. I saw
Why would
you.
they say that? Why would you
like, I
think
don't-
it was that?
Well, I was like, I don't get that part. I don't know why they saying
It's like, this part's weird. Why would they say that?
It doesn't fit in the rest of the
Not
song.
saying that.
Whoops. Oops days. One of them was from, and I've caught Shannon maybe twice in the
Oh,
whole time we've been together with
I would-
wrong lyrics. She knows
Maybe once.
so many lyrics. But the funny one is from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, God.
You know the song Hot Patootie Bless My Soul? It's Meatloaf's song in Rocky Horror. It's called Hot, yeah, Meatloaf. My dad loves Meatloaf. I like Meatloaf, all right. It's not
Bad
terrible.
hell, raising
Yeah,
hell,
man. My dad
whatever
loves
else.
Meatloaf. That's the thing. Like I said, my dad took me to the Oak Ridge Boys concert. Not because he loved the Oak Ridge Boys, but not because he didn't love the didn't like them. My dad has the most eclectic music taste of any person I've ever met in my whole life. He has every Beatles record, of course, all the Beach Boys records, but then he's got every album Eminem ever released as well. I'm not kidding. He used to embarrass the hell out of my sisters. I've got two sisters, 10 and 12 years older than me. He'd drive home from work, like my sisters, we like playing with their friends in the driveway, like 11, 10 years old, and my dad's rocking the latest Beastie Boys album, Licensed to Ill, and they're just like, oh, Dad, this is so embarrassing. But no, my dad loves all kinds of crazy music, so that's how I wound up at a Oak Ridge Boys
Awesome.
show.
I actually grew up on the Oak Ridge Boys.
Boom Papa Mau Mau.
Oh yeah,
I don't even
My heart goes out, Elvira, giddy up, Papa Mau Mau, giddy up. No, it doesn't ring a
I know
bell?
that part.
I'm gone. So go ahead.
I really sang it in a bad key for
Well,
myself. too.
you guys do Captain Kangaroo. What is the name of
That's the
song?
Statler Brothers. The Oak
That is
Ridge
the Statler
Boys
Brothers. You're right, you're right.
did
Same.
it as well, but
Yeah.
it was the
Did you ever
Statler.
hear what was that thing that they used to do? It's like find me a band that sounds like the Statler Brothers. Find me a band that sounds like the Oak Ridge Boys. And then it was like Find me a band that's like the Oak Ridge Boys, but sounds like the Statler Brothers, but I don't have to pay as much. And then it was Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama. That's hilarious. Well, since Cody Bean is one of our guests today, and he's from New Jersey, I thought a good first song to play might be Atlantic City. If that's all right with you guys. I'm just going to move this microphone here. This, I can honestly say, is the longest into a podcast we've played a first song. Usually it's in like the first 10 minutes, but we have gone for nearly 40 minutes.
We're doing good.
Wow.
We're doing good. We can talk it out. Talk it out.
By the way, how we got on
because we care.
that tangent was I thought the line in Hot Patootie was opportunity.
Oh, that's right. Yes. She thought that Hot Patootie, the line was opportunity. And she was like singing it to herself one day. I'm like, what are you singing it? And I said, that's not the words. It's Hot Patootie. She goes, that's not even English.
I was like, no, it's not
Hot
that.
Patootie. You're the one here.
There's no way it's that. Blew the chicken man in Philly last night. Blew his house too. Down on the boardwalk, they're ready for a fight. Gonna see what them racket boys can do. Now there's trouble busting in from out of state, and the DA can't get no relief. Gonna be a rumble on the promenade, and the gaming commissioner's hanging on by the skin of his cheek. 'Cause everything dies, baby, that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. You put your makeup on and fix your hair up pretty. Oh, meet me tonight in Atlantic City. I got a job and I'm putting my money away. I got the kind of debts no honest man can't pay. So I drew out what I had from that Central Trust. Now I bought us 2 tickets on that Coast City bus. 'Cause everything dies, baby, that's a fact. And maybe everything that dies someday comes back. You put your makeup on and fix your hair up pretty. Oh, meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Well, our luck may have died and our love may be cold, but with you forever I'll stay. We'll be going out where that sand turns to gold. Put your stockings on, 'cause it might get cold. 'Cause everything dies, baby, that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on and fix your hair up pretty. Oh, meet me tonight in Atlantic City. I'm looking for a job, but it's hard to find. There's winners and there's losers, and I'm south of the line. And I'm tired of getting caught out on that losing end. Now I talked to a man last night, gonna do a little favor for him. Everything dies, baby, that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. You put your makeup on and fix your hair up pretty. Oh, meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Oh, meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Oh, meet me tonight in Atlantic City.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
Wonderful. I like the piano ukulele combination. I dig it.
I can't
Atlantic
wait to
City.
hear it.
I went to my buddy's bachelor party in Atlantic City.
Oh, yeah?
And I watched him pay $13 for a pack of cigarettes.
Oh my God.
$13.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to quit. That's a dumb thing to say.
Trying to quit for 20 years, man.
Man, I think if you want to quit, you
lost
will.
the weight, time to quit.
Time
Yeah.
to quit.
Time to go.
I did make
That was the deal.
kind of make that deal with myself. That was
Yeah,
the
you
whole
know,
point.
That was your thing, and then now you're there.
I'm
No
putting all the
excuses.
weight back on, and I'm still smoking.
Like, no, just thinking about it, I feel like I'm gaining weight.
Well, yeah, no. Here's exactly what happened. The whole thing started because I quit smoking and I was shoveling food in my face. I quit for like 2 weeks and I just was getting bigger and bigger, and I got up to like 235 pounds. It's like, man, this isn't good. So I made a deal with myself that, all right, you can smoke for a couple more months, but you got to lose some weight so that when you do quit, if you gain 15 pounds, it's no big deal. So I was losing all this weight, and I was like, all right, your goal's 170. When you hit 170, that's when you got to quit smoking. I got to like 175, and I was like, well, I don't really like the way I look, so I'm just going to keep working out. I'm this close to being like six-pack, like hard body. Just keep going. And I get down 5 more pounds and be like, 5 more pounds so I could keep smoking. I'm like, I'll keep losing weight so I can keep smoking.
Smoke more, eat less.
I'm gonna lose it. Every time I'd start to hit my goal, I'd be like, I don't want to quit smoking yet, so I'll just lose. I'll knock that goal back 5 more pounds. So then I got down to like 147. I'd lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
I'd lost 80 pounds, and I was like, okay, you can't lose any more weight. And I'd been so strict with the working out and the eating right that I was like, man, I just want to be a human being for a month, like where I can do whatever I want. I can eat whatever I want. If I feel like working out, I'll work out. And God damn it, I'm going to smoke. Because going from losing weight to quitting smoking right back to back, it was like, man,
That's a lot, man.
I need a minute.
Definitely.
Three months later, I took my 1 month into 3 months, and I'm getting
extended
fat
break.
again, and I'm still
The
smoking.
whole holiday season.
So the thing is my mom does Weight Watchers, and she loves it. But one of their big pieces of advice is once you lose your weight, throw out all your old clothes so that you don't have the option to go back. Like, you know what I mean? You put the weight back on. It's like, so I went out and spent a whole bunch of money on brand new clothes. I can't go out and buy more clothes. So I either get fat or I'm wearing a halter top with my gut hanging out.
Metrosexual.
So yeah, so it's strictly a financial thing. I have to start working out again because I cannot buy more clothes. So hopefully that works out for me. But right now my exercise room is my junk room.
Yep.
So that's the other thing. It's like as soon as I clean out that room, I'll start working out again. And then it's just
So
like
that room is a big
big-
challenge to tackle.
it's a mess. It's a mess. That's all right though.
So just keep like more cigarettes, more working out.
Don't go in the room.
Right.
And then
Don't go in that room right
just
now.
fucking cold
You
turkey
open that door, that room will come out at you.
You're like, oh, I have anxiety already.
Staying healthy as a musician is one of the hardest things there is.
It's impossible
It's
on the
ridiculous.
road.
It is impossible on the road.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you live in the land of fried food.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like the 3 biggest challenges there are on the road is, eating, finding a place to take a dump that's not disgusting. I mean, it's seriously, when you start traveling around like that, it
Absolutely.
becomes really important. It's like, come on, man.
And you get to know your stops too.
You do.
You get to know which places are good and which places are bad.
Yep.
You taught me a really good thing about when you feel yourself like you can feel your eyes almost dilate and you're like almost like nodding out at the wheel and you're like just pull over, 15-minute
15
nap,
minutes.
wake up,
Yeah.
and you can
Yep.
just and I did and oh my gosh, you saved my life.
I've sat there and thought it.
I've done that at least 3 times.
But
since
then
you
there's
told
a
me
time that you fall asleep for like 2 hours.
but then you wake up, you're like, all right, well,
Right,
At
that's
least you're
great.
alive.
Yeah.
At least you're alive.
I
you know,
wasn't
it's fine.
driving,
Super safe.
dozing off.
Yeah.
I
But
spent-
and then the third thing is routing. Learning how to get places.
yeah.
I mean, that's like
Right now,
learning how to miss traffic.
my favorite bathroom that I've been in on the road is the new gas station right on the Spirit of the Suwannee exit. It's called the Busy Bee.
Oh yeah,
my
no,
God.
it's awesome.
Oh man,
There was like a
everything
construction.
now.
for,
Remember
like,
when it was a trailer?
There was like a waterfall in the bathroom.
Like, is that place
like
open?
for us, like
Each
or like
stall-
uplighting and all this beautiful.
Yeah,
each stall has its own
Waterfalls,
door.
really.
It's like a room. It's not
like
really
a
a
Yeah,
stall.
it's
It's
like
a room.
a closet.
You're in your own bathroom. The men's bathroom has like a white noise machine playing like jungle sounds, so you can't hear other dudes dropping ass next to you. You can't hear any of that. Like I said, you're in your own room. The nice like hardwood floors. The only weird thing about the men's bathroom didn't have a mirror. Which, whatever. It's just kind of strange.
I mean, around there,
It was really
most people
like
don't
dark
really
in the
wanna look
ladies'
at them.
room, like
peaceful.
dark purple lighting everywhere.
So nobody recognizes you. Yeah, you think it's hard for us to find a good place to take a dump?
Oh my God.
Imagine what it's like for her.
poor
Sometimes
girl.
we just get back in the car, like, well, we're just going up an exit. There's nothing
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You know,
one more.
someone brought to my
Not going in
attention
that place.
At
You want
Hometeam,
to know a good trick?
which I think is a legitimate
CVS.
thing.
CVS.
Is
There's
when
one
you think
in
about like
every-
little
there are
kids,
24
there should
hours.
be little
It's
kid
clean and no
urinals,
one's
right?
there.
Yeah.
Because little kids have to climb up on that thing to go to the bathroom. Think about it.
Don't go to McDonald's. There's
I
always
was like,
someone
you know,
at
you're
McDonald's.
right. Like,
If you're
there
that
should be
little, you
kid-
probably have
I don't know,
a parent
like,
with
when
you
you're a little
helping
kid,
you.
yeah, but like to have your like 6-year-old daughter have to go into a urinal, like they have to like.
But
like,
then you're gonna
you can't-
have like adult-sized
you need-
people being like, "Watch me use the little one."
And every guy's run into that. There's always the
Either
one
way.
urinal you don't want to go to because it's the little one. You don't want to use the little one. But
It's all a
sometimes
matter
you,
of perspective.
sometimes you have to.
Depends on which way you're looking at
Well,
it, there,
that's
buddy.
that's like in Spirit of Swanee when you go up and you like get a little Cinderella tent and you put it up there by the front gate and you put your cooler in there because
Yep.
who's the asshole who's going to open the Cinderella tent? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
like your
Your friend that knows
but then
where
your
your
beer
cooler
is
is
right
and
on
wants
the
to
other
get
side of the
one.
fence and your camp might be as far away as you want it to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's like my trick.
But don't tell
Called it
anyone.
the halfway
I
house.
just told everyone.
Don't tell her like the little Cinderella tent.
I figure the best way to
I'm gonna
not
go
get
Sleeping Beauty this year, so don't worry about it.
I figure the best way to not get like pulled over or hassled by police is to always have like a bicycle rack on the back of your car with 2 children's Huffies and like a 26.2 mile sticker that makes it look like you run a marathon. Because they're not going to suspect anybody that runs marathons and has 2 kids has got like, anything he's not supposed to in his car. Like,
my kid's an honor student.
yeah,
The
exactly.
worst thing is to have a whole bunch of gear in the back of your car.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not.
man.
It's like you might as well paint a target on your back.
frightening.
It's just, yeah.
Wallpapered with the stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned my lesson. I don't
Yeah,
have
we
any
don't do
stickers.
stickers.
I don't do
We
stickers
can't,
at all.
Yeah, I don't do that yet.
The only
you
sticker
pass
on our
around?
car is yours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? There was a DVD going around called Barry Cooper's Never Get Busted Again. Did you ever see this?
No.
He was a former, like a federal narcotics interdiction officer in Texas, pretty much watching the border, just pulling over drug traffickers. And he retired and just made this whole DVD series about how never to get busted again. And some of it was very, very interesting. He would tell you like who he targeted as a police officer, and he said anybody with any stickers at all. Like if I didn't care if it was a Jesus fish or an I support the wherever police department. He goes, stickers are a big red flag. But he's like, he went over a lot of different things. But very interesting DVD. I found out in that DVD that, and this could be total bull, but he said police dogs only have to pass with like a C, like a 72 on their test. Like, man, you're putting people's fate in the hands of animals that got a C on there for a C student.
Yeah.
And respond to
C's
certain
on their
hand
test.
movements that you don't know what they are.
Oh, yeah,
Have you ever
absolutely.
seen that video of the person?
Oh, yeah.
Making it
Yeah.
react. Yeah, absolutely.
That's like,
But that DVD went over a lot of cool myths, like coffee ground, like hiding stuff in coffee grounds to send it, like, or move it. That doesn't work at all. You can't do that. No. They said dogs' noses. They said picture a stew. If you make a stew, a human being smells stew. That's all they smell. You're not smelling carrots and onions and beef. You're smelling stew. A dog doesn't smell stew. A dog smells those individual ingredients. So they're smelling carrots and beef and gravy and whatever else is in there. So your coffee grounds aren't doing you any good because if you're a dog, you're smelling coffee grounds and you're smelling whatever it is you're carrying.
That thing that gives you a treat. Like that scent that gives you a treat. Oh yeah. That's the one.
you can have a police pig.
Hey, you guys should train Homer.
No, Homer's trained to sniff out any beer. Don't give him any.
Don't give him
Don't
any more
give him
beer.
any.
If you
He's a
lined up
butthead.
10
If you hear
10
this,
cups of
don't give
water and
Homer
one
beer
beer.
anymore.
So you know what?
Buy all 9 cups and knock over that beer.
Cody has a
That's my shit.
pet pig named Homer the Pig, and he's kind of become the home team mascot, Homer the Home Team Pig. And you can see him on all the flyers and T-shirts and stuff. And this year, we're lucky enough. I kind of knew this, but Bean confirmed it for me last week on our podcast that the T-shirt this year is our cat, Miller Cat, our orange cat.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
His face on my
And that was my
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, he said it was inspired by our kitty cat. So,
It was. And when he made the space cat for me,
yeah,
I always wanted to put it on a T-shirt. You know.
So yeah, everybody that got a home team shirt this year is walking around with a picture of my asshole cat.
Yeah,
He's in the bedroom right now.
That cat's a jerk.
Yes, he ate a roll of paper towels and messed up the blinds, so he had to go spend some time in the bedroom.
Yeah, he's in the bedroom right now.
Can't behave himself.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But
I have a book for you guys, and it's like something about the psychotic cats, and it's like this funny old book, and I keep forgetting to bring it to you, but I think about you.
Sounds right up our alley.
It's got pictures and stuff.
I've gotten so I pretty much only read autobiographies or just biographies, nonfiction, a lot. But I don't read as much as I would like to. We watch a ton of movies though. We go to the drive-in probably twice a week.
I love the
Come to the drive-in with us. Heck, if we get done with this early enough, it's right up the road. It's around the corner.
Okay, I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's a lot of fun. I love the drive-in. We see a ton of good movies. We saw a movie last night, not at the drive-in, at home. We saw a movie last night called Whiplash. Have any of you guys seen it? You saw it already?
Yeah, it's a great
Oh my
movie.
God. Dude, this movie, like I said, I watch a lot of movies, and most of them I walk away from going, meh. But this one is the first movie in like 2 or 3 years that got me. Like, this one was a phenomenal movie. It's about this kid in a very prestigious music conservatory, and he's a drummer. And it's Mr. Holland's Opus meets Full Metal Jacket. It's just like, it's torturous to watch. Like, I don't know, it made me feel like the sloppiest musician in history. Yeah. First of all, like, it made me go, I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's just I highly recommend it. Do you guys watch a lot of movies? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, we try to look for them on Netflix, but it's such a pain in the ass to
Netflix
find
frustrates the shit out of me. I could look through
especially when other people
use
your Netflix, and then you get recommendations for stuff that you really don't like. So then you're just like, nah.
We watch a lot of horror movies. Shannon loves horror movies. So if there's anything remotely scary,
I don't like stuff.
And I'm always
it's creepy. I
didn't when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I saw a Poltergeist when I was 10, and I wouldn't sleep in my bedroom for like 3 months. My parents let me sleep on the couch in the living room, and my mom had to like bribe me. Now I love horror movies like that.
I'll try it again.
Man,
my cousin
I
used to actually feel like something was like
died.
I thought my bedroom wall was going to open up and eat me, and I was not going back in there for anything.
My sister was afraid of Jaws when she was a kid. Like, not of like going swimming or going in the water. She literally thought like Jaws was going to come in through her window at night and get her in bed. Shannon,
Jaws.
Can I tell him your big one? The one that gets Shannon? Shannon's scared of dinosaurs. Shannon doesn't like Jurassic Park.
I still have nightmares about dinosaurs all the time.
Which is the most next to
if
Jaws, the second most irrational fear ever.
I will dream that I'm being eaten by a T-Rex.
Maybe in one of your past lives you were a cave woman.
Exactly, and I got
that's the one that makes me sad because Jurassic Park is my jam. I love Jurassic Park.
He'll be like humming the theme song to himself.
I do. I walk around going all day long.
That's when they finally survive everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God.
I'm a whistler too, and that drives Shannon nuts too. Can't whistle, huh?
I can't whistle, and I hate whistling because of that. I think that's why.
I'm not a good whistler, but I can whistle.
That's all I got. I suck.
The movie that kept me up when I was a kid,
the
one that made me lose sleep for real was The Exorcist. Like when I saw, and I know that's a lot of people's, and a lot of people watch that and go, "That's not scary at all." But I was not.
The one that creeped me out was what was the one? It was like Wrong Turn.
Oh yeah,
that's a good movie too.
Like they just like pop people's tires.
I grew up in a place a lot like that.
Yeah,
it didn't scare me at all.
Where are
Uncle Jim? Hey, how you doing?
What Tennessee?
Virginia.
Okay.
Appalachian Virginia, though.
Yeah, that's
like I still have family that don't have indoor water or electricity. They're just still out there in the just killing stuff and eating it.
Yeah, well,
we were driving up the mountain up in Sewanee, Tennessee, going way up the mountain, and Kyle was like, how do you live up here? Like, who lives up here? I'm like, they live up here for a reason because they can't live down there with everyone else. It's different people way up in the hills.
Really, and more my point was, you're walking along trying to find some place to live, right? I'm talking about way back hundreds of years ago. You're looking for some place to live. Who looked up at the top and was like, it's got to be up there. Let's do it
A little
up there.
further, yeah.
Why wasn't down here good enough? Why wasn't down here? Why couldn't we just set up our stuff
there
right
were
here?
other people
You
down
step
there.
out, you're like,
That was it. I mean,
They were driven up
stops
that
here.
way.
Yeah.
They're angry
They won't
villagers.
follow us up here.
Yeah.
Yep, I suppose so.
yeah, you got high ground.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I got to have a gas station near, like, within a mile of my house. Have to. That's preferably.
I used to have to walk 7 miles to get to a drum set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. When I was a kid, it was just and I did it every day.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
screw it, I was like, I'm gonna get there. And it took an hour and a half. I got it down to an hour and a half, like a power walk,
Yeah.
And I'd get there and I'd play for 2 hours and I'd power walk back because I wanted to get back before dark because once dark hits, you have like wild dogs and
Yeah.
there's stuff out there.
Nature.
Variables change when the dark time comes.
Was it like a music store or like a warehouse or like
No,
a
it was
practice?
a friend's house.
Oh, okay.
His parents were nice enough to let me keep my drum set there, and if I could get there before they had dinner, I could play for a while before they got home.
That's awesome.
So I'd get out of school and
That's
just,
cool.
Get to the drum
Just go.
kit.
To the drums, yeah.
Such better shape back then.
How'd you get a drum kit? How'd you acquire your first drum kit?
I went to a church and told them that I would learn to play and I would play in the church if they would, get me a drum set.
Uh-huh.
And, they were very gracious about it. They got me like a $50 piece of junk.
Cool.
Yeah.
That I just I had to tune it with pliers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and then, of course, I got the drum set and never went back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
See you later.
When did you start playing piano?
I started playing piano about 9 years ago. I have a 21-year-old daughter, and I was on the road playing kit and doing that, and I came home one day and she had boobs. And I was like, wow.
Oh, there it is.
It's like, I need to stay in town for a while. So I got a job at a music store, and they had a piano just in the back, and I was the day guy. My shift was literally from 10 in the morning until 4, and there are no musicians awake at that time.
Nope.
So I was in that store by myself all day, every day, with a piano, and I was like, well, I'll do this. And so I just sat there and learned to play, and
That's crazy.
then I ended up making a bet with a friend of or an acquaintance of mine. He'd been playing around for a long time, and didn't know the difference between a major and a minor chord, or didn't know his scales and that kind of thing. And we used to argue about it a lot. And I bet him, I was like, in 1 year, I can take this and start playing the same places you do with 1 year of experience. He was like, no way.
Wow.
Bango, bango.
I did it.
If I had it to do over again, I'd have started with piano. If I ever have children, they will start with
Well,
piano.
that's
Like,
like the basis for everything.
It's the best for
If you
theory.
get that, then you can almost get anything.
I can play Home Sweet Home and Georgie Porgy, and I can't even play all of Home Sweet Home. I can't play the chorus. I only know the verses.
I could play like Happy Birthday.
Yeah, I took piano lab in high school, and I just slid through there just because, I was just barely got through it.
I flunked guitar class in high school.
And then
I failed.
I'm so.
Weren't you were a bass player for a long time.
Yeah, I played bass forever. That
I think
was my main
think that
thing.
if I ever were to be a musician, it would be a bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have you do that at some point.
I sat in. I
down
got
the
to
road.
play a little bit with Cope a couple of nights ago down in Aces. Kenny was in Seattle, and their fill-in was just late to the gig. There was a confusion with what time the set was supposed to start, and I got to sit in for like 4 songs, and God, it was a blast.
Yeah.
I was rusty. It took me a minute to like shake some stuff off, but once I got into it, I was having fun. The problem is I can't really can't do both. Like it's different parts of my fingers that are getting beat up. Like even
Do you
after
have
a
a
set.
Different muscles in the hands.
Yeah,
and
that's
shit.
why.
I
That's
don't
why I
have
don't
any
do the
bass.
drums.
You should have
anymore.
one
Yeah.
just
You
fuck around with
because
yourself.
it just
Yeah.
kills
You
me.
beat
I
yourself
think.
up doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing both is
exactly.
like
Right?
Yeah.
my arm was like this, but
Yeah,
What do you guys think
exactly.
about
so
this?
So was his. He was like cramping up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was 3 songs in. I was glad the other dude showed up. I was having a blast, but I was like, man,
this hurts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be playing quarter notes in a minute, just
Yeah.
long, just boom, boom, because I can't keep up.
You did
It's
great,
just it's
though.
with my wrists. My
Yeah,
wrists were
yeah.
on fire. It's like a whole nother muscle that I just haven't
bet.
used in. Because I can honestly say that like since I started playing the ukulele, I guess professionally is the word to use, I guess. That's one word to use. I really have stopped playing the bass pretty much altogether, which is a shame. Like that Warwick bass over there is the most expensive instrument I own. I love it. That cost more than my first car in high school.
It's a nice Christmas tree too.
Yeah, that's my.
And it's a nice Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I got a lot of.
Seriously.
A lot of cool.
It does
stuff.
have a few ornaments hanging on it.
Kiwi Irwin on top. Come on.
We can't have a Christmas tree because the goddamn cat knocks it over every year. Like they
2
finally
years in a row, he snapped
guy right here?
it in
Yep.
half. Yeah.
This cat.
Yeah.
Yep, he
knocked
broke it
over
o-
so
he-
many times
yep.
it just snapped in half. 2 years in a row, 2 separate trees, and I was
like,
just
I'm
like,
not
well,
buying
I can't
another
have
one.
Christmas stuff.
Cats.
That's it. Not doing it again.
He's the friggin' Grinch.
Yeah.
The cat at our house, Angel,
But he still
like,
gets the
will
stocking,
randomly
doesn't he?
I like him already.
shit on the bed in the back room because it's Adam's
Yep.
cat. It used to be,
Elf on
when
the
Adam
shelf
lived in
for
my
you.
house,
Exactly.
he slept in that back
want an
bedroom,
elf on the
and I
shelf.
swear she just hates Adam
well, yeah,
because
yeah.
Adam just tormented her forever.
Oh man,
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying,
Angel.
Like, she'll just like put a fat cat shit right on the fucking
That is
bed.
exactly
Like,
how
I
they
don't
do
want
it.
people
That
to
is, if they
sleep.
don't like
I
you,
hate
that is
Sleep on
what
her
they
bed.
do, man.
You gotta get a new
Sure.
mattress.
Adam loves her, but he gives her hard love.
Adam.
He pets her really hard. Fuck you.
Hey, kitty.
I love you, Angel.
Gonna be a long day tonight, kitty.
Let's play another song. Let's do one of D's songs.
Speaking of cats,
Cats.
Oh, speaking of cats, yeah. There you go. It's cat night. Meow.
Let me see what I'm doing here. Good enough. Close enough for jazz. This microphone. All right.
there's a ghost of a cat living under my house, which sings to me. I don't listen too good. Man, well, just what it's preaching. Dogs bark in the distance, and the sirens wail. Hear the children scream, and the parents fail. Just another day in my life, but it's passing me by. Now I'm alright. Passing me by. Now I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. An old man on the corner pisses his pants. Bums a quarter from me. That's a second glance. Domestic disturbance keeps awake at night. And I saw an angel fall from the sky. Broken pieces of love well up in my eye. Just another day in my life. It's passing me by. And I'm alright. Passing me by. And I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I didn't butcher that too much.
Oh, me too. I was like, man, I should have grabbed an earbud mix or something.
Yeah, I should have tightened up a little bit too over here.
Yeah, jeez, Cody.
Yeah, man, Cody, where were you?
Couldn't even
Beatbox,
hear you,
man.
I can't wait to hear
missed
it. I've
it.
listened to the clickety click of the silent keyboard and watched you play the whole thing.
It's like half silent disco, half live.
Cody and Janelle can only
Yeah, you
hear
can
the
do that.
vocals and the ukulele. They can't hear the
Yeah,
piano,
it's like
so it's
silent
probably
disco
pretty
and
funny.
live combined. It's great.
Without the headphones.
I'm down for that.
Sorry, not enough headphones to go around,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, no, it's all right. Oh, no, surprise.
So we're not far from removed from the last home team rally, and this one was a good one. I had a blast this
And
year.
the weather.
The weather
Yeah,
was,
weather was
the
great.
best it's been.
I
you know?
feel like it was an
I
anchoring
went
year for
swimming
a
the
lot
day
of it.
before the home team.
That it
rally
was
in
what?
this
An
pool.
anchoring year.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
To me, in my head, that just sounds like a term to use because, you know, we saw a lot of new faces, which was
Right.
really nice. Our RV section was full.
Yep.
Like that
The
was a
lineup was
surprise.
amazing.
Well,
The
it
music was just
so
off the
And
chain.
good.
the way
man.
we did the stages.
The state, yeah,
everything.
the organization
We got
was in a whole new
compliments
level.
from
Everything
even
just
like
went
vendors that have
fluently.
been around the block.
Yeah.
And you know, they say, "Oh, you guys have something special." You know, like you hear
Oh,
that
yeah.
from people that, and everyone comes out of the woodwork and they all put something in, and everyone's got their eyes out, not looking for something bad, but just looking for the good. And if somebody seems out of line, like you get kind of caught up before it needs to be a problem.
Right.
Like it's a place where
Our
people
security, like, we have,
want to
like-
bring
we have, like,
their
hundreds of
their
security
kids
officers
and
at
their
Home Team.
parents.
Yeah.
You
There
know,
was
and that's really
there was a
special.
beautiful moment. There
Yeah.
was a beautiful moment where I saw this woman early on, and I was like,
Oh, yeah, with
that
these-
one's gonna be trouble."
Yeah.
I was like, "That one's gonna be trouble."
these
and
two, you
then
think?
she was like on Kyle.
Oh,
I was just
yeah,
like,
I tried. And you know what? And the
I
thing
slid
is,
up to you. I slid up to you, and I was like, "Enjoy this." And then I went straight to Cody. And I was like, "You might want to go help
No,
them
that
out."
was
you're talking about the
you were
gangbang
the one
lady.
who told me, and I went and I just turned around. I was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you guys. I need to talk to you
You
guys."
should go over there.
If you
And then
don't know-
she's like, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do," and I'm like, "Well, I need to talk to them."
I talked about this a lot on the very first podcast. If you don't know what we're talking about, the gangbang incident is in the first podcast. So if you
it's
don't know
like
what
a
we're
sense
talking
of
about,
humor thing, like she didn't get it.
fairly, yeah.
I think I
anyways.
summed it up pretty well, like at one point in time.
I mean, I totally get, like, I don't know, do you want to give a background or...
Well, I mean, the thing is I think the fundamental difference is that there's an absolute difference between gangbang and gang rape.
Absolutely.
That's the breakdown. Okay.
Absolutely.
These are willing participants in what,
Yes.
and it's a sense of humor song. Like
It's about an
you
orgy.
laugh at it. It's like when you cover, like, you know, songs that are about pimps and hoes
She
and
came
blah
and
blah
talked
blah
to
blah.
me
It's the
later
same
in the
sense of
night.
humor stuff.
And, like, I was very receptive, and I heard her out, and I felt for her and her side and her perspective on things. Like, for her in her world, like, that was what that was. And for her to be able to speak out about it and say her piece, I am glad that she is able to do so. Now, do I feel the same way about the song? No. I was bouncing around and kind of singing around with you
Well,
guys.
no, that,
and
but it
it's
took
not
her
that
6
to me.
hours to say her piece. I mean,
Yeah, she wrote it out.
But you know what? You get a chance to say that. You always get a chance to say that. And whether or
No,
not
that's fine.
somebody hears you, good. Say whatever you want. You are your own person, and that is what it's all about, anyways.
But it's all
That
about
was
your
her
approach,
own
though.
meeting.
If she wanted to, if she wanted to
Yeah.
come
I
in,
wasn't
wasn't there for how
apologetic
she came up
and-
to you
Yeah,
guys.
if she wanted to come up
I
and-
saw
with
some
me.
stuff.
if she
And I
wanted
was
to come
like,
and
you know
talk
what?
to us, she could have talked to us. But I mean, her conversation ended her with screaming in Shannon's face, "I hope you get raped."
I don't
Like,
know
yeah,
that
right.
one. Oh, no.
She called us the N-word.
What's-
No, you're
She
fine.
called us the N-word.
She called
and
us the
that
N-word,
boggled
yeah.
my mind. At that point, I was like,
That's when I was
okay,
like, "Oh,
now
you're
I'm
crazy."
not sorry anymore.
Yeah, I was sorry at first, but when she
Yes.
called us the N-word, and then it was
Yes,
funny.
and that's
All
where I
in
was at.
within 5 minutes, she said, "I hope you get raped. I hope your wife get raped, and I hope that you have a 4-year-old daughter that gets raped."
That's
I'm like, so now you're
good.
saying you're hoping my
so-
hypothetical
I had
daughter?
no
You're wishing rape on my
She
bloodline?
got
Jesus
totally
Christ!
crazy
All that
about
sense
it.
of
That's why
Well,
exactly.
And,
That's why
like,
I.
initially we were like, "Oh, we're sorry. It's a joke. Please,
Yes,
just understand that
exactly.
it's not. It's
I wasn't
totally a joke."
there.
And then
Yep.
like she just, I mean, like snapped and yeah,
And
she was screaming in
never
my
even,
face.
like,
I hope you get
dove
raped.
into the extent of it, but I just knew Dee told me, like, "Hey, Cody, they need to go be saved," and I'm like, "I'm ready. I'm ready." I'm like, yeah. And then
Yep.
she continued to say something, and I ironed it out, like, you don't, like, it's a sense of, come on.
Yeah.
Well, what I heard later on after because we pretty much went to bed fairly soon after that.
Yeah.
And she was kind of walking around from like group to group trying to like preach her case. And one of them ended up with some people. I'm not going to name anybody's names in this because I don't want anybody else to have to deal with this. But they were talking to her and she just ranted and raved so long that they're like, all right, we're just gonna walk over here now, have a good night. And she ended up screaming at them, you just walk away, fine, if you don't care about women's rights and all this. And they're like, whoa, we'd sat here and listened to you for half an hour rant on about this, nodding our heads at you, going,
trying to have a good time.
Well, we're just
tonight.
having a good time.
Exactly.
And she's going on this crusade about a misunderstanding. It's not what the song's about.
We got home and she had messaged us a bunch of times
Yeah.
on Facebook and stuff.
Geez.
More crazy stuff.
won't even
I
get
hope
into
your,
that.
hope
It is
your
what it
future
is. You
child
can't-
gets raped. You can't say
and
the
at what
N
point
word
did
to
you
me and
ever
then teach
say
me a
rape?
life lesson.
I mean,
No, never. It's not about that. It's not about that. No.
That's the weirdest thing about
Well,
the whole thing.
what's more offensive or shocking? Me singing a silly song about an orgy, or you screaming in someone's face, I hope you get raped? What what person would say that to another human being? Like, that's not something
I
anybody
think they
says
call it
to anybody.
bipolar.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's-
sure that's what that was.
All right.
It was an unfortunate
Water
thing.
under the bridge.
Yep.
Well, and then I had a lot of people ask you, are you going to stop playing it now? I feel like if we stop playing it, the terrorists win.
Exactly.
I'm serious.
America.
No, here's the thing. We
America.
played that song 50 times before that and never had one complaint.
Yeah.
One lady had a bad time and people expect us just to stop playing it. No, the terrorists win if we stop playing it. Absolutely not. Like I said,
terrorizing
one
all of it.
complaint in 4 years. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I say a
As
lot.
a musician, you're doing great.
I'll be honest. In the scheme of things, "Gangbang" is a fairly sedate song compared to "Suck on My Chocolate Salty Balls."
Exactly.
Right.
Take that
We
for what
do
it
sing
is.
"Bitches Ain't
The
Shit."
cover of
That's
Bitches
a
Ain't
Mom
song.
Shit.
on stage passing out chocolate.
Exactly.
I heard
And
it.
they
I
were
was behind the
chocolate and
stage.
salty. Like,
Yeah.
they're salty on
I
the
haven't
out. Like,
been to the stage in
she
hours.
definitely
and
nailed
I
the
ran
recipe.
up there to make sure that I got one of her
Mom
chocolate
makes some
salty
mean
balls.
chocolate salty balls. I got one at Hometeam.
But no, we're not going to
Perfected
quit
the
playing
recipe.
it. That's ridiculous.
No,
And
not
but at the same time, I'm not going to play it at every show. I know my audience. I'm not going to play it when there's grandmas and grandchildren.
You know what? Hey, Kyle, guess what?
Although I've seen you tell a
Hometeam.
funny
The late
joke.
night
or
set at
two.
Hometeam.
It's
right,
late
where,
night
like,
set at Hometeam. It wasn't
Yeah.
4:00 in the afternoon.
We
It wasn't
played it for
daylight.
this entire group before, and they
Yeah.
all sang along and loved it and thought it was hilarious. And I don't know. It's such a
Do
fun
you-
audience
It's like the
participation
worried
song.
face. Worried face. Like,
Do you
And
have
it's an
any
old
experiences?
song. It's
of
been around
something like that
forever.
happening?
Oh, people getting offended by tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
you want to
in
hear?
the
You want to
music
hear a really,
industry,
really
like,
bad story?
Yeah.
Okay, this is it's one of those odd things. We got a gig opening up, and Funky C's got a gig opening up for a all black band, and well, I won't say any names, but we did my tune Monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dance.
Oh, God.
You
You
monkeys
monkeys
dance.
dance. Oh, no.
Yeah, they did. Oh, they took it.
Well, the audience. It did not go well, man. It did not go well. And we were like ostracized. And now I was like totally clueless because I never
Didn't
could
cross
make
your
that
mind.
connection.
No, because it doesn't mean
Right,
that.
that's like
No,
that
it
doesn't mean
works.
anything because I think
Right.
But boy, man, we were like I mean, they thought that we were like KKK.
That should be a
I mean,
movie.
they
That's
just- I mean,
like
seriously,
right out of
it
a
was like
movie.
I was seriously concerned that I was gonna not get out of there alive.
See,
I was like, this is a wow.
I had the.
Wrong too.
I
Which is
had.
why I don't do the song anymore. I'm just like that.
I love that song.
I
Though.
love-
That's
I
a
love
great
this
song.
one of my favorites too.
Great
Love
song.
that song.
I could see where you could
never
run
thought
into.
of it.
Your arms flailing like
I never did either. It never
No.
crossed my mind that
No.
would because it's about like humans being stupid. It's not
Right.
about anything.
Exactly. No, I had the opposite. I had the opposite of that happen to us at a show in Bradenton. We were hired for 4 sets, played the first 3 sets, going great, place is packed, having a blast. 4th set, a biker gang, an entire biker gang, like 25 dudes come rolling through the door, and I start seeing swastikas and white
You were
power
a Nazi biker
tattoos
gang.
in the 88s. So they were literally a
God.
Nazi biker gang.
Wow.
Now these guys
They were terrifying.
and their mamas
And their mamas.
were started dancing and having a great time, and I'm up there on stage going, boy, what if there's people in the crowd that have never seen us before going, boy, I like the band, but their
what the
fans
hell?
are a bunch
Yeah.
of Nazis.
Yeah.
It was one of those like, do we stop? Do we keep going?
What do we do?
I don't
What do
like
we
it that
do?
these people are having such a good time.
I'm so uncomfortable right now. I'm scared to stop though. Like,
I'm scared to stop, right?
Exactly. Oh, no doubt.
Don't want to piss anybody off that way. We're being paid to be there for a certain amount of time. We're going to honor that obligation.
Yeah. What do you
but
do?
we did not hang out after the gig.
We got the hell out of there. We were like, oh my
You're not
God.
trying to bond? No?
Right?
No.
I don't want to see anyone get stabbed.
You want to interview those people and find out, what did that song mean to you?
Oh, God.
Well, and that's the weird thing about the interpretation thing, man. So many people, you have no idea. You can write a bunch of words and they might be some emotional thing to you or some spiritual revelation or whatever. But the second it comes out of your mouth or goes onto a disc or whatever, and somebody else listens to it, it means what they think it means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
could be
I
even
mean,
different lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. They can make up their own lyrics to go with it.
They're like, that's what it was the whole time.
Once again, big old jet with a light on.
Yep. There's a bathroom on the
There's a
right.
bathroom
There's
on the right.
always a bathroom
What's the
on the
one
right.
song that you guys sing and it's like Rag Mama Rag?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There you have it.
People always want to know what that means. I'm going,
We're all humans here, right?
I don't think that's what they meant when they wrote. We didn't write that song. That's a song by the
Right,
band.
well,
I
I mean-
don't think that's what they meant. But
You know,
But then
pussy
again-
is an endearing term
that's
for
your
a lot of
own-
things also.
well, that's like Sylvester
Hot pussy.
Sylvester Stallone's making a new Rambo movie, and they're calling it The Last Blood, and it's like insert menopause joke here. Like, come on, Rambo. Are
You
you
can
kidding
put
me?
like you make an awesome like CD cover for that one. Last Blood.
Having hot flashes in the jungle.
So he jeez, man.
Eat some red velvet
So
cake.
goddamn it's hot in here right now. Oh, they're making another Rocky movie, which
Are they
scares
really?
me. It's called Creed, and it's all about. I think it's. I'm hoping that it's him.
I thought Apollo Creed died.
He did, but it's about his grandson. And I'm hoping that the plot is it's him training his grandson. I hope he doesn't fight Apollo Creed's grandson. Like, that's ridiculous,
Apollo
but
Creed's
it's all ridiculous at this point.
Hell no.
You know, Rocky 5 and 6. Well, 4, 5, and 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6 weren't the greatest movies. 1 and 2 were phenomenal.
Yeah, I was
1
gonna
and
say,
2
I
are
was
very.
going after 2, man. I didn't,
They're
I
all
went
close
no
to my
further.
heart. I love them, and you have to. You go. I'm gonna go see this movie, and I expect a certain level of Rocky cheese that you have to have.
Of course, absolutely.
But did you guys see my Rocky doll? I got that as a tip from a bar.
Oh, I love it.
Joe made him
I
a
saw
cigarette.
I saw
Isn't that
Rocky
fun?
2 in a theater as a kid.
Yeah, it does.
And I remember actually literally being on the back of my seat screaming, and just, I mean, the fight scene at the end of it, those 2 movies were fantastic.
And joke all you
You know.
want about Sylvester Stallone now. He's kind of become a caricature of himself. He's a caricature of himself. He's
You're
pretty
gonna
much
get old, too.
he's Sly Stallone in
Yeah.
every movie. That's who he
yeah,
is.
of course.
But
They
the
hired him for
man
that.
wrote, directed, and starred in Rocky 1 and 2. And those are American modern masterpieces, in
Oh,
my
they
opinion.
are, they
As
are,
far
they
as
are.
movies that came out in the 70s,
What was
Rocky
the soccer
is as
movie
good
and the
as
prison
it
movie he
gets.
did too. And he actually did some heavier stuff before all that. And people don't even know. There's a movie where he plays he's in prison and he's emaciated and he ends up playing soccer in prison and becomes a part of a soccer team. It's a whole different and it's not Sly Stallone. It's a different
he's
character.
acting.
He's acting, yeah.
Yes.
And it's a whole different thing. But that's, before the money came. It's funny how that happens too, isn't it? Isn't it weird?
Well,
like
the movie studios don't want a new, fresh idea. They want that thing that worked last year. That thing
exactly.
worked last year. Let's just do that again.
Do it again.
And I think
and they don't realize that's what kills it.
Yeah.
They don't. I think that's something. Another thing that we have our finger on here. With the scene that we have created and have done over the years, it is never the same old thing. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes, we definitely have key figures and key signatures or whatever that sit there, but they all evolve and they all sound different. Every year I can look at almost every player and every musician in our scene and say, dude, you're a lot better than you were last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you have progressed, you have progressed. You've written better songs, you've created better whatever, and then the other thing is changing it up the way that it gets changed up. And that's part of jamming together. I love that part about it is that ability that we have to all just get together and like, you know, just learn something different, you know, play a different style, play a different way, play a different thing, you know, and that I think might make us survive a lot longer.
Well, and all the festivals that we have that are so kind of, you know, there's a period of time in the year where it's back to back to back to back. It feels like, and those keep everybody a little bit honest because you got to make sure you have at least one new thing that nobody's heard yet, and all those things, at least one. And we've done not as good a job with that as we could have, but we've always had at least one new thing at every festival that you haven't heard before, unless we're playing far away.
People don't realize how much work that takes. It is work. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot of input. There's a lot of rehearsing. There's a lot of creative space, which is the biggest thing is that you're sitting around going, what can I do that somebody hasn't done? And if I think of it, is somebody else thinking of it right now? And are they going to get to it before I do? And you know, I mean, it's like there's all these different, you know, you just got to just work.
What is a part that would keep you guys from being able to coordinate jam sessions in a sense, like having a space or having like a night or like a reason to
all of
time.
that.
Time is the biggest. Time is the biggest factor.
Schedules,
Well, and I mean,
Can I say like the way that like all the home team bands as like a whole, the way that everyone blends together and everyone stands, like if you don't have a gig, you're standing in with someone, or you're, you know, or you know, in that sense, like everyone just kind of is helping, it's outside looking in, because I'm not a musician, just looking at the whole scene growing for what it is.
It's really special to see.
And it is to see everyone like.
There's
it's like you step up to the plate, you like, no matter where you're at, you check your ego at the door, and you're standing, and you're just you're a home team.
Yeah.
You're helping each other grow, and you're like your influences help them grow.
There's
and
not as much of a competition
grow.
feel for as many different, very talented groups and individuals that there are. You don't feel the competition as much as you feel the unity of supporting each other and wanting to be able to experience playing and learning from each other.
And everyone is getting
at least from our perspective.
I think it's very true. I think one of the things that happens is that I think once you reach a certain level of ability and success, you start to, and also awareness. There's an awareness thing that goes along with it. You start to realize that you cannot be an individual island in this anyway, and that you actually need those other people. And you realize that the best thing that you can possibly do, it's like any other community in the world, the best thing you can possibly do is participate in your community, give it all you have, and also listen and let it give back to you, and you grow it together that way, which is actually the foundation of what music was in the beginning anyway. I mean, it was cavemen sitting around beating on rocks, trying to figure out how to, like, you know, get over the fact that somebody just got ate by a dinosaur. You know, sorry, Shane.
She's not gonna sleep tonight.
And let's be honest, that dude might have said he was playing drums to more than that person that got eaten by a dinosaur, but he was trying to impress the cave lady.
He was.
That was across the fire. That's what he was really doing it for. He's like, this is for you know, Bilbo that got eaten by a velociraptor.
But you are single now, right? Wasn't that your boyfriend that just got eaten? So you're available?
So you're single?
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
1 in a million.
That's another. There you go. That's
Come to
another
this
one.
cave often.
Did you guys see Dumb and Dumber 2?
No.
I don't think so.
Now there's a
man.
movie another one that was sacred
It's like when
to
they
me
were
as a
younger,
child.
like they were
Dumb and
kids.
Dumber or no?
Dumb and Dumber
It's a-
2,
yeah,
but
the new one.
T.O. the wrong
T.O.
That's like
Dumb and
three.
Dumber or Dumb and Dumber T.O. was it, or was it T.O.? I
it was
can't
T.O.
remember. It was the
Yeah.
wrong form
Sounds
of 2.
about right.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as the first one. It was an okay
the
movie,
first
but it
one's
wasn't
so
near as
bad.
good as the first one.
They're never as good as the first one.
No. This last one though was kind of a stinker.
It was okay. It had a couple of funny parts, but I felt like the first one, and maybe I'm saying this as an 11-year-old. The first one was a really solid story. Like the first one was a really great
I feel
story.
like the fart jokes were superior in the first one. It really spoke to me as a 10-year-old.
They did. The
I
hardest
love when he takes the gloves off the gloves.
Oh yeah, you
that's
had
the
2
best
pair
part.
of gloves this
Oh,
whole
might
time.
have been
Yeah,
sweating.
it's the Rockies.
They're stuck together with
I'm
me.
gonna kill you, Lloyd. It was the hardest I ever saw my dad laugh at. Oh, actually, I can say this now.
It's
the
there's so
hardest
many moments.
I ever saw my dad laugh and my nephew laugh. His grandson was both at the shit scene when Jeff Daniels has diarrhea in that toilet. I never saw my dad laugh so hard, and then
the last one,
and then 20 years later, I never saw my nephew laugh so hard. We showed him Dumb and Dumber, and the kid was rolling. So like, yeah, that
was
movie
like the Nutty Professor when he's like, "Oh, look what you done made me do! I'm trying to shit myself." That was another fart scene, which was pretty fucking. I laughed pretty much. That was even funnier, I think.
New Dumb and Dumber not as good.
You can't top.
You guys need anything? You want a water or getting pizza? Good beer, Fireball.
I still got some Fireball.
I get that on some English.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing Adam got me on. He started saying like you crank it, like you can crank your hair, you can crank a beer,
just gotta crank it
down,
out.
like everything's like crank, it's like crank like you can either do something or you can crank it out. You know what I mean? So for me, like
but if you crank it out, you gotta max it out. You know,
cranking
you gotta milking it. You gotta milk it.
Like you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Kyle? Not crank.
Didn't you
live the crank life?
Oh yeah, I crank it out. I wake up in the morning. I crank it out.
A shower.
Crank it out when
crank
you're
out
killing
a
it.
shit.
Straight killing it.
Just crank that
Didn't
shit
you
out,
guys
man.
write a song that has something from what he said in it?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
He said if you want, it was the Wani where he broke his arm, where Adam broke his arm.
Yeah.
I think it was before he broke his arm. He came just running into the circle. We were all just hanging out with a bottle of Captain Morgan, and he throws the cap in the woods. He goes, "Don't need that anymore." Full bottle. He cracks the cap off, throws it in the woods, and he goes, "Well, we're not saving this." And he goes, "If anybody wants to do shots before the music starts, look alive." And
Look alive.
Look alive.
yeah, so that got to be.
That's another one. He said, "Yeah,
Look alive.
We also wrote a song.
Good
you
Morning
guys,
America.
you guys are kind of. That song's directly related to Adam, and then we just wrote a song on the way home from your wedding called "When the Leaves Change Color." That's kind of about both of our weddings. Like, it was inspired by your wedding, but it's also kind of about our wedding as well. It's kind of a joint dealie. But so yeah, you guys have definitely played a big part in like giving us inspiration to write songs about.
New ideas.
You know, and the thing is, when I hear the song "Hey My Brother," I think about me and my brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Of course, like why wouldn't I? I mean, listen to this.
Yeah. Sleeping on the floor.
Well, that
We always slept on my floor.
I'm like, yes.
In my old apartment, and Cody would come over all the time, and I used
And
to have
Adam
the
would
night
sleep on the
shift.
floor?
So I'd come home at 8 o'clock in the morning from my night shift, and Adam's sleeping on my floor, and there's like two other people on my
there
couch.
could be
and
no one
Cody's
on the
in
couch.
bed.
He's like, he'd
And I
rather
love
be on the
it,
floor. Like,
you know,
he's like, I
had
got
a good
dibs on
time.
floor. Like,
He's like, this is
dibs
my
on
bed.
floor. Like, fuck the couch. Like,
That's a good guy to take on the road right there.
Dude.
Speaking of mispronounced lyrics, what is it? Handguns and hammocks on the Mayaca River. What is it that people always say? There's a very common.
Really?
Yes. And I cannot think of it.
You gotta like sing the song in your head to figure it out.
I'm trying to.
I don't know.
You should just do it for me. No. That'd be awesome.
you almost have
What key is it?
That one's easy. We could do that. We'll do that. Let's do it. It's 1, 4, 5 and E.
All right. Well,
I'll sing
jeez.
with you.
Why not?
I'll eat pizza.
Oh, headphones.
Where'd they go?
I'm hanging.
Jeez, too much Fireball.
There you go.
Just enough.
Just enough.
That will happen.
This is fun.
Handguns and hammocks out the Niagara River. Good time for me, not so much for my liver. Fishing for gators with peppermint schnapps. Shit ain't illegal if we don't get caught. Shit ain't illegal if we don't get caught. Cruising down the river, we ain't got no map. When a little baby gator come on jump in my lap, sipping on 7 on that bluegrass jam. Don't think we'll ever make it home again. Don't think we'll ever make it home again. Because there's handguns and hammocks out in Viking River. Good times for me, not so much for shack, ain't got nothing to hide, and the law couldn't find us even if they tried. Smoking cigarettes and blowing shit up. I need a refill, baby, here's my cup. I need a refill, baby, here's my cup. Because there's handguns and hammocks out in my river. Good times for me, not so much for my liver. Fishing for gators with peppermint schnapps. Shit ain't illegal if we don't get caught. Everybody, shit ain't illegal if we don't get caught.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
Okay, so I still don't remember.
So,
what
I like my music well done.
Didn't help. Not a good refresher. Do you have fake names for your songs, like that you use amongst your band? Like that one for us is Ham Gums.
Ham Gums.
Ham Gums.
All right, quit talking about Homer now.
He's got cute.
Eleanor Rigby we always call like Felony Piggy or like
Almond
Almondor Ribeye.
Homer the micro mini pig. Like
Suitcase we call Soup
Mini about
Face.
him that is tiny
Soup
little
Face.
boobs.
Soup face, nice.
Yeah.
Soup Face.
Soup face.
Yes.
Oh, it's like Alyssa with her bathing soup. Jeez. We let her call it that for so long without telling her.
I used to go to baseball. I was raised Catholic, and I used to go to baseball games and ask if I could get a hot dog at the confession stand.
Right.
Confession
Well, you
stand.
can have it, but what did you do that was bad this week?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Still trying to think of what the handguns and hammocks. It was like was it 10,000? Maybe it's the wrong song.
Wani, 14,000 of your brothers
I
and
feel like
sisters.
handguns and hammocks makes me want to like lay in a hammock with like a handgun and just like, shoot up at the end.
Yeah, right.
Like Jenelle would be in the hand like blah, blah, like handguns and hammocks.
That's
That
like
That's
sounds
what makes
safe.
you swing. Like the gun pressure.
what makes me think of that. Did you hear about the lady after?
Oh, that's it. Hanging hammocks is what everybody thinks it is.
Hanging in hammocks.
Yeah. It's not handguns and it was hanging in hammocks. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard that one.
That's kind of sweet.
That's kind of sweet. Yeah.
My kids still think that, by the way.
Good.
So
That's like the Cope song with Alyssa. It was what was it? Taco party, let's begin.
oh yeah.
Make what? Give me everything.
Awesome.
Ooh, taco party.
Oh, what was the other one with the constipated every day?
Revolution.
Contemplating instead of she was like she heard it, she looked at me, she was like, I was constipated once too.
I was relating with the song.
Well, that's like we were doing. We were just not getting the word. We were getting the words wrong on purpose to Cope songs. We were doing Awake. It was baked. I'm so baked, can't open my eyes. I'm so baked, just want French fries. I'm so baked. I'm so baked.
It's like the Weird Al version. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Can't we do a CD?
We should do a CD of that. All parody each other's songs. Exactly.
Come on, is that not a good idea?
If we,
That's already been
totally
brought up. Jared from Between Bluffs has been
Okay,
trying to put together a compilation
sense.
CD
Yeah.
where we all do each other's tunes.
yeah,
But-
it just kind of fell apart. I was talking to him
It's
about
so
it the other
hard.
day.
I mean,
It is,
Logistically,
yeah.
it's same old thing. Time and
Getting everything recorded.
some people don't have recordings of their
Right,
music,
they
which
don't
makes
have
it
the
extremely
things to do
difficult to
that.
pull off. You know, so.
Well, and, I mean, one of the hardest things that we all deal with is like you spend maybe 40% of your time playing, but you spend the other 60% trying to make it so you can play.
Yep.
You know, you're on the phone, you're getting yelled at, somebody's telling you they don't like your band, you know what I mean? You're sending emails, you're Facebooking, I mean, it's like this ongoing thing that the other side of it that people do not realize that we go through is like, it's a life just to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it is. I mean, it's
That's where I have so much respect for all the musicians in the home team because
Yeah.
for me, I put together like one thing a year. You know what I mean? You guys live, breathe, and I'm there, and I pick and shoot. You know, I have to. I live far away from everything that's going on, so I pick and choose what I do. but I try to be there and try to be there.
We
but
love it when we
man,
get to show up
like
to a
the thing
show
is,
that
like,
we might not even be expecting to go to, or that we were like, oh look, this is going on, and we're already going to be in the area, and we go, and there's maybe like only like 10 other people there that are really doing anything
that's
about
when
it.
I really want to be there.
I love that. I love being able to show up
Kyle,
and do that.
you remember
And
back
not
in the
go to,
day,
like,
you'd
the
be like,
big
hey
thing
Kyle,
that's
you'd be
going
like,
on somewhere,
hey Cody,
and like,
we're
be,
playing
like
at
end up
Thunderbox.
somewhere else. Like, I love
Come help
being
us
able to
get
do
the
that.
gig next week.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
I'm there.
I'm there.
You were there.
I'm there. I'm like, I will get anyone that I can scrounge up, and let's fucking go there.
Yep.
Because they would all, not that they didn't want to go there, I was pulling them out of their house. It was like, no, let's, like, whoever's available, corral them into just going there.
Yep.
And that's where, like, for me, when I put on the horns, like in the beginning, the first time I ever put them on was like in Ybor for Orange Hour for Battle of the Bands, and it was Battle of the Bands, and they're like, we're playing Battle of the Bands in Ybor, and I'm like, fuck yeah! So I'm getting ready for Battle of the Bands, and I was a Viking a couple years before, and I had this horn, and I'm just like, Battle of the Bands, horns, link them together.
Why
Makes
not?
fucking sense.
Be the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their
Battle
whole
of the
group
Bands.
ended up
Like, I
getting
looked like a
kicked
Viking.
out
I put it on.
of the place before the voting even happened.
No,
because they were too ready.
that was after that. That was after all that, because it was that was the first Battle of the Bands when we went there. And the Mighty Mongos and Orange.
But then
Either way,
everyone just kept
I went
encouraging
there
him to
and
wear
I wore the horns.
God, I hope
to
I never,
Ybor.
ever do another Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
The rest
Well,
of my
yeah.
fucking
Well,
life, man.
Well,
either way,
I
it
feel
was
like
a
I wonder
flop.
now.
The whole Battle of the Bands
or
was a
open
flop
mic.
Anyway.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. When I think I love playing open mics. I loved playing open mics. Open mics were fun for me. I don't know why.
I used to host them though, and that's a whole different.
Oh,
thing.
I did. Yeah,
God.
it's a
Yeah,
lot
that's a
less
whole
fun.
different
We
thing,
hosted
man.
one too, and it got to be the thing that happened with ours was strange. Is our open mic, all our friends came out to like the first two. It was kind of out of the way. It was out in Lutz, kind of where Kenny Stadelman lives. Not
Right.
out of the way,
Well,
but
that's out there a little bit.
to college kids, it's out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So we were doing it. Friends showed up for like the first 3 weeks, and then there's a high school like not a mile from where it was. It got to be all high school kids.
Oh, weird.
And it was the weirdest thing because I was 24 years old, and I'd walk out on the patio, and they'd hide their cigarettes because they thought I was like the adult.
God.
That was I was like
They were like,
you were the
they were like
authority. I
hiding
was
their
the-
beers from us and stuff. Like,
Yeah, they
I'm
like.
not telling you. I don't give
I
a
don't even
shit.
know who you are, man.
Karen, drink up, buddy.
Drink up, partner. Yes,
Really
light 'em
feeling
if smoke 'em if.
15
Can I
once.
bum one?
A lighter.
But that's funny because, and they'll tell you this too. I met Sierra Stadelman before I met Kenny or Dennis or any of them.
I've heard this
Really?
before.
She
Yeah.
showed up and she had some friends that played at
She
the
was
open
not
mic.
drinking or smoking. She was
No,
a good
she was
kid.
being
No,
very
there
There
well
were some
said.
little
They-
shits there that were
those kids-
getting in trouble.
Those kids are awesome.
They are. They're
like
good
kids. All
Definitely.
in every angle that I have ever known of them, they are awesome. They have worked my gate for 2 home teams.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
trusted those kids to do it because they end up doing a better job than most adults that try to.
Yeah.
There's a wisdom that comes with growing up, with traveling
I was-
musician as a father.
Yeah.
My
Exactly.
daughter
grew up
at
with the
21
same mentality.
has her own car, her own home, her own career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's just done. She's taking care
There's
of everything.
real life lessons
know?
happening all around you, and you get to be like, I see them. I don't want to be looking like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to do that myself.
That's
And
why.
that is
That's
a
why I
personal
think
lesson
that's
learned
yeah,
that,
exactly.
you
That's why I
know?
think Alyssa's really
she's
she's got a great life.
Well, my dad always told me. My dad was an accountant for 30 years, and
They're free cheer.
it treated him very well. He worked for a good company that took very good care of him and all of us in our family. But he always told me, "Don't get stuck doing something you hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure something out that you enjoy, because that's the way to go." I
know
know he
that's
my
where
kids
I'm at.
that
didn't
That's
love
where I'm
accounting,
at.
but he did it because they took such good care of us, and it was a good job and everything. But I don't think he loved it. You know what I mean? I think if it was up to him, he would have probably been a college professor or a high school teacher or something. But he always just said, do something you love. And I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Jim Carrey, oddly enough, back to the Dumb and Dumber thing. He said, don't ever go with the safe plan, because your safe plan can fail too.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it's no
that's
safer than
that's the
anything
thing.
else,
It's no
yeah.
safe. It's not really a safe plan. That can fail too.
Yeah.
And then you're not happy and you failed. At least try for
Yeah.
what you want to
Yeah,
do. And if you fail
exactly.
at that, well, you fail at it and you move on and you
I think
figure
he's
it
always
out.
been never give up. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the only way you actually fail is when you stop trying.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, there are those people that you're like, God, I wish you just quit. But
outside looking in,
evil.
Yeah.
But that's how I like to go on record as saying, never give up.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I think that, but I do kind of think that it's something some people are born with, and I talked about this with Dennis on the first podcast. Some people just have to do a lot less work than others.
It's true,
and vice versa.
It's
Some
true.
people just have to work a lot harder at it
that way. I mean,
than others.
Yeah, that way.
Just like anything else.
Just like musicianship. I mean, some people. I have musician friends all around me. Some of them absorb so quickly.
Yeah.
Like a very fair example is, I always have different musicians every time I play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was a particular group of musicians that took almost 6 months to learn my music. It was just really tough to get it through. And I was like, at the end of that, I was like, man, I don't know if I really want to do this.
Yeah.
But then the next time I did it, when I had a different group, they were done in a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like, it's
And
good.
you're like,
Done. I was like, oh, wow. And it's just, it was just different levels of, absorption or memory or, just ease of ability or whatever.
Well, when I was a bass player auditioning for bands and stuff, if the band had a CD or a recording of their music, I tried to go in there
knowing you're
having it. I had it.
You're supposed to.
And I can't understand
people who show up.
I don't get it.
Don't
Why
know
would you
anything.
want to do that to yourself? Why would you subject yourself? Why don't if you're driving all the way down there to audition for this band, you have some interest in joining the band. Why wouldn't you do everything you could to learn it? You know what I mean?
I actually have folders of different people's music now.
That's a great idea.
People if somebody calls me more than twice for a fill-in, then I make a folder for them. That way it's like if they ever call me again, I can go back and I actually have reference. I know what I can, can or cannot do with them.
Yeah.
I mean, you just kind of have to. If you consider yourself to be a working pro, you just have to be able to show up and have your stuff together. And it's all, being on time is also pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be married to the other, another member of the band. Like
That
her
works
and
out
I are
pretty
pretty
good.
much a package deal at this point. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like getting on stage without her. I don't like singing without her. I don't like performing
I hear
without
that
her. Now
too. I
she's
hear
kind of
that
my
too.
How
safety
did you
blanket.
guys even start to? I don't even think I know the story behind
They
it.
worked in a record store or something.
Yeah, we met working at a record store, and she was 17 and I was 18. I had just moved down from Milwaukee, and I always knew she could sing. She sang in chorus in high school, and I actually went to one of her chorus concerts, and I knew she could sing, and she'd sing on the couch and sing in the car, and I knew she was really good. And I always said, as soon as you decide you want to start singing, I'm quitting whatever band I'm doing, and we're doing this. And but she said, nope, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. I don't want to sing. I don't want to be in front of people. I have no desire to be a singer. She was a baker then. She went to baking and pastry college. That's what she was about. And then I joined this band, and
I came to a lot of practices, sat there for
she
many
sat in
hours.
a lot of rehearsals.
And
yeah.
at some point I was like, well, I guess I'm going to sing now because
She was
I'm bored
bored.
to tears.
Yeah, that's it.
She started singing
That was a really good band then. Oh, just kidding. That was me.
oh no, don't actually, man. I'm not going to go through it to set it up now, but I could play some tracks because actually a few of our songs were written with that band that we still do now. I wrote them all, so I didn't have any qualms about taking them to the next act.
Right.
But like Wani Trippin' was with the last band.
Just that water.
I remember
Just Add Water,
you guys. I remember
Girl
you
House.
guys before you guys ever even knew who I was at Spirit of Swanee, and I know it was you. 'Cause it can't be anyone else who would
Singing
walk
at a
up to
camp? Yeah.
singing around a
Yeah.
campfire,
I
and I'd
remember
be
hearing
like,
you.
"It's that fucking that couple and the guy and the
I
ukulele."
remember that.
When they came to Humdinger, man, they were just like all around. I could hear them wherever I was, walking around after the music stopped. You guys were always like, it was just in my ear. I was like, wow, man, it's like that the blend of the vocals and stuff. It just like cuts through.
Definitely, the harmonics are beautiful.
And then I think actually my favorite moment of that was walking by your tent when I thought you guys were asleep and I was talking about you, and Kyle started fucking giving me a hard time from the tent. I was like, all right, I know I like that guy now.
So I want to know when was the first time you met me, and when was the first time you met me?
Oh God,
it's hard. It's like it blends.
Tough
Like
one,
this
yeah. That is
blender.
tough. It's so blurry.
yeah, it
For
really
me too.
is.
That's why I ask you.
No,
For
it
me,
really
too.
is. I mean, my first, I remember seeing you at Skipper's.
Yeah, probably for like Cope or something.
I just remember
No,
like at
Uncle
some
John's.
point when
Uncle John's?
like we just wanted to come out and see you guys when you were playing at like these little small places. Like I remember going to Dunderbox
Yeah.
to go and listen
Well, you
to
know,
you
that
guys.
was after all that. I remember that was like.
I don't know, it's blurry. But
But I'm not exactly sure. I really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's certain times
think
that
it's probably
remember
ringside for
meeting
us.
certain people.
I
Like,
think it was at ringside for me and you, definitely.
Yeah. I'm almost sure of that. You know, but I couldn't tell you who was playing then.
for Cody
It
back
could
in
have
the
been
day
maybe at Orange Blossom.
with
You think
Juan
maybe?
and with
Or no?
Dennis.
Could have been.
He met at different
When you got
Well,
when
that's
Legacy
something we haven't
gave you
really talked
guys
about.
that like part of his set, you remember that?
Absolutely.
Check.
I think that was definitely in the beginnings of me meeting you. For sure.
But speaking of things that we should discuss, I mean, Orange Blossom and Russ Bowers is
Oh my
something we
gosh.
should definitely talk about.
The Godfather of Home
We
Team, as
we
I
we
say.
kind of we spent a good chunk of the first podcast talking about OBJ and stuff. There's nothing wrong with reiterating the point.
And I would love to talk about OBJ too because
Yeah.
I feel like for me growing up, I always went to big festivals. It was like Gathering the Vibes or all these different things up,
Yeah.
you know. And then I moved to Florida and I found like String Break and Riverhawk before, but then I met Dennis around a campfire at an after party. He was playing the band. He was playing Tool on the banjo, and he was like, "I'm in this band called Cope," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah! You play the banjo, you play Tool." Like, okay, yeah. And then a week later, on a separate accord, I was at Graham's place, Graham Parsons' hostel,
Yeah.
with like 6 or 7 separate people, and Juan ended up being there, and I met Juan and hung out all night. We had a good time at Graham's place, and at the end of the night, Juan was like, "Yeah, I play in this band called Cope." I'm like, so I met
know the
this
guy.
guy named Dennis a week ago who was playing Rage in a banjo around a campfire. He says he's in this, and you, this cool guy that I've been hanging out with, like music aside, all, you know, you play in the same fucking band. I'm like, I gotta check this fucking band out. And then as soon as I checked that band out, it was like, hey, everyone who I can summon to fucking yes.
Yeah.
Dude, when I very first got the Funky Seeds together, the first thing I did with them is took them to see Cope.
That's it.
And said, "Listen, see this is
Like
what we're up
Cope
against."
sets the standard. Like if you are a jam band,
if you're gonna do this is
in Florida, Cope
Yeah.
sets that fucking bar. Like, oh my god, like
So check.
so.
No, I'm not going to karaoke. Check this out, though. I found this. I don't know how well this is going to come across, but this is our last band's version of like Wani Trippin'. I don't know if you've ever heard
Oh,
this
gotta
before.
hear this.
So listen to this. This is funny. This is embarrassing, but I'm going to do this to myself.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Oh, this is a heavy metal version. Wani raging. Wow. I can dig it. Get a little fucking mosh pit going out there. Yeah.
A little different.
I like it.
A lot jammer. You know, Shannon was in. I don't even think Shannon was in the band at this point. That's why there's no
I
vocals
think
yet.
I'm on this recording.
I love it. I love the fucking mosh pit in this. Kyle, come on. Let's do this.
I still have a new cover coming for you now.
Oh my god, you better. I will get a mosh pit going to this. You know I could.
So yeah, I don't think we were going anywhere with this really, but
I know. But you know what? Now that you
Janelle,
have, and you go back
click on
it's
Grow
even
House.
more awesome.
Hey Kyle, can you send this to me?
It's on Reverb
right?
Nation. It's on the internet.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
I can't wait.
Oh,
Yes. Y-E-S.
This is Grow House. This was also another one off of our first record, another version of it with the last band.
I love the punk background. It's like a punk background.
I was playing bass.
That's not a fairy tale.
Anyway.
If you walk into my yard, you won't have to wander far.
I was going to say the same thing.
Say what? What was it?
Sounds like Sublime.
Oh, God.
And if you would be so kind, walk right in and spend
It's true though. It's actually it sounds good that way. It's both ways are great.
Got all metal on you.
Fuck yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
I can get it. It's like the Limp Bizkit concert. I like it that way. It makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Why, yes.
All right,
You're
I've heard enough.
You're
Let's shut
right.
it down. Let's shut it down.
I wouldn't be embarrassed by that.
But it's
No,
that's,
you should.
so
You should be totally embarrassed.
I
She
am.
was on that track though. I think that.
Yes, that was
well,
you.
you know,
but
I'm
that
not-
was her
in the
ooze.
background.
Here,
You
I'm
and
not.
ooze.
I'm not.
I made like everyone leave the studio. I was like, everyone get out of here for me to sing my part. I was terrified.
But we that band ended up losing the drummer right before the first festival we ever played. It was we lost the drummer, so we went out there and just tried to half-ass it with a new guy that had like one rehearsal, and he just didn't have
I
his shit
hate that.
together, and it didn't work out. It was bad
Yeah.
to the point where we were like, everybody just stop. Shannon and I had just gotten the ukulele, and I knew like 2 songs on it. I was like, Shannon and I are just going to play the last 2 songs, the 2 of us with the ukulele.
Yeah. And we
And,
did, and
we
they
did.
went over great,
that
and we
was
were
it.
like, well, I guess that settles it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, you got it.
That was the beginning of the end for sure with that
Yeah.
act. Unfortunately, I mean, I you know.
And we moved
Hey,
to
you-
Tampa,
no, you
and
did the right
go,
thing.
the band practiced in Ellington, and that was just a long way to drive for
Yeah.
1 gig a month or something. So it was just I don't know.
It was time.
Yeah,
So
it was time.
we started just going around the campsites and really the Wani, where we saw the
Yeah,
reaction
and
from
then
people
I've seen you.
at all the festivals around the campfires is where we knew this is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
And then we got our first paying gig at Mr. Dunderbox, and they hired us for every Friday night, and we played there every Friday night for 2 years.
So
and
when you started, like that's you met me, and then you were doing Dunderbox, or that was before you met me.
I think I was doing Dunderbox. Well, I remember
Before,
right
before we met you.
The first time we ever went to your house, we got there at like 1 a.m. because we had to play Dunderbox that night.
Okay.
We finished
yeah.
Dunderbox at midnight and drove all the way out to Spring Hill.
First time for the bonfire refugee camp.
No,
No, it wasn't.
no, it was a
some
party
other
before
party.
that.
Big Bear
Big
Micro
Bear,
Mini Fest.
yes,
That was
that's
what
what
it
it
that
was.
was
When
before
we
the
built
bonfire.
stage.
That was
That's
before
right.
the bonfire. So
Yeah,
we were.
Yeah.
Big Bear Micro.
And I
We
remember
had,
having,
we
like,
had the above ground swimming pool
Yes.
in the middle of the yard.
I
got
we were
in it.
in that.
I got
sucker.
in
We
it.
were in a circle doing
Yeah,
the
we
whirlpool.
And then before that, like
didn't
the
even have
first-
bathing
the
suits. We were
first
in there in our
band
clothes,
ever
both
played
of
my
us.
house was Stick Martin.
That was
Oh,
so
no way.
much fun.
Right on.
was
Stick
awesome.
Martin. on
Pretty sure I was little
Patty's
wasty
Day.
pants.
Yeah.
A little wasted that evening.
Yeah. Was that the time that Juan played till 6 in the morning?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, there's been
Until
a
he
couple
was
of
falling
those
asleep
times.
on the keyboard.
That's what I always say about yeah.
And then the next night they were like at 11 o'clock. They were like, "Yeah, but you guys played until like 8 in the morning
Yeah,
last night,
so,
so
yeah.
Chill.
we're gonna check you at 11."
Yep.
Oh, man.
That will
But,
happen.
That was
hey,
the
we
first
had a
time
good
we heard that at the gangbang
good
song. Chris Brown
Yeah, Chris
played
Brown
it around
played
the
it.
fire.
That's right. That's
At
true.
like 5 in the morning, and we laughed so hard, I was like crying, and I didn't hear the song again for like 5 years. And then we found him on like randomly on YouTube somewhere.
Let's make good on
Funny
it.
how shit comes back around, right?
Let's make good on a promise. The first for people that have listened to all 3 may have noticed it in the first podcast while I was talking about the Gangbang song, trying to explain it. I was like, but we'll play it later. And we never got to it. And since we got a good room full of people, we might as well do a couple of bars, and you decide.
You know, I just realized that that's a double string uke.
8-string, baby.
Straight off.
Courtesy of the Luna Guitar Company. I have 3 of these now that they've given me, and they're very nice people at the Luna Company. If anybody is interested in a Luna ukulele, go check them out on the website. And if you decide you're interested, type in the promo Applebutter Fan, and they will give you 10% off on your Luna ukulele.
How awesome is that?
Yes. So I have 3 of their 8-strings now. I talked about it a little bit on the podcast. I love them to death. They're absolutely
super
awesome.
reasonably priced.
Yeah, let me tell you this. I was playing a Martin ukulele before it. It puts my Martin to shame, and I could buy literally 6 of these for the price of one of them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier with it. I could not be happy with it. I love it. All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Yukon Jack.
Yukon Jack who?
You can jack off if you want to, but me, I'm going to the gangbang. Oh, yes, I will. Oh, yes, the gangbang gives me such a thrill. When I was younger and in my prime, I used to gangbang all the time. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Emerson.
Emerson who?
Emerson, nice tits, lady. At the gangbang. Oh, yes, I will. Oh, yes, the gangbang gives me such a thrill. When I was younger and in my prime, I used to gangbang all the time.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower who?
Eisenhower late
For the gangbang. Oh, yes, she will. Oh, yes, the gangbang gives her such a thrill. When I was younger and in her prime, I used to gangbang all the time. But now I'm older and getting gray. I only gangbang once a day. And that's pretty much all of it. It's just knock-knock jokes. And this lady got all upset about it, but I don't even want to talk about that anymore. I just wanted to get the gangbang song in there because during the first podcast, I said I was going to do it, and we didn't do it. So I just wanted to get, and there's a lot more to it. There's a whole bunch of other jokes, but it's all just knock-knock jokes. It's the silliest song in the whole wide world to get offended about.
It is. You know?
Cartoony, exactly.
Yeah.
That's where. Hey, Kyle. That's where you just brush her off the shoulder. You know, you're a good guy, and you're a good woman. And you know, when you see someone like, you know, don't even worry about it either way.
What were you saying, Jenelle?
This worry face like that.
So this is my scared face.
Scared face.
Didn't like the Looney Tunes have all kinds of like weird like extra message type like I know
Disney did.
Something about like old school cartoons.
Do you know why? Do you know why Underdog was taken off the air?
No.
Underdog got his special powers from opening up a ring and snorting a powder.
Oh no way!
Yeah, Mighty Mouse took the pill.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Both off the air.
Mighty Mouse, that ecstasy is really good.
Wow.
Actually, I had that backwards. It was Mighty Mouse that snorted in.
They've taken a lot of stuff off there. They took they play Tom and Jerry now, but with a disclaimer in front of it saying that some of the material is racially insensitive because I guess they had like a black housekeeper that was pretty stereotypical for that time that comes off a little bit racist today. Yeah. Same thing with this one's interesting. They took off Speedy Gonzalez because they thought it was offensive, but then like all these Spanish rights groups petitioned to bring it back, saying that like Speedy's like he's the one, we got him.
He's our guy.
He's our guy. We like Speedy, so they brought Speedy back in. But same thing, they play it with a disclaimer in front of it now, saying. And actually, Tom and Jerry, what they did was they re-overdubbed the voice. And it's just like a generic non-regional accent now.
I'm sure Yosemite Sam had something to do with something.
Yeah, right. Foghorn Leghorn.
He was talking about something.
Foghorn Leghorn with this little black chicken friend. That was a something too.
Well, you guys know like Brer Rabbit and all that stuff.
Well, yeah. I had a book when I was a kid. Oh yeah. I mean, and like Disney does a good job getting rid of stuff they don't want you to have anymore. Because like, there's this movie, Song of the South. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, no.
That one, you can't find it.
You won't. If you haven't seen it, you won't.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's grandma has an old VHS of it somewhere.
It does exist.
The coolest thing we ever found at like Shannon's grandma's house was a cassette
like a books on tape.
Books on tape of Johnny Cash reads the New Testament.
Oh wow!
And it's just like, what?
Oh my god! I would love to have that.
I would love to have that. That would be awesome. What's the coolest thing you've ever found at like at your grandma's house? You're going over to Gam Gams and you come across a box of stuff.
Jar of moonshine.
Jar of moonshine? Yeah. Did you find that?
Oh yeah.
No?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They had a basement full.
Grandma knew how to party.
They had a blackberry brandy that they made when they were young that had never been opened.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and the thing that we used to kid about is like we never drank this stuff because the blackberries were white. There was like no color left in them.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So we're like, don't drink that.
The first time I ever had any kind of moonshine was cherries soaked in it. We ate some cherries and whew.
By the way, all this stuff going around at our little parties and festivals that they're calling moonshine is not moonshine.
I know a certain somebody that I've seen the still and watch how they do it, and there's a difference.
There's a
difference. Yeah. I know the person that I know that makes it is doing it legit.
Moonshine out of the back of somebody's truck, covered up with like garbage bags.
Out of a old jug.
The hills of Tennessee, hidden away. Like
no, there was nothing. I mean, flavoring a drink or whatever, flavoring grain alcohol or Everclear or whatever. That's cool. It's fine. Whatever. But I don't know.
And like I said, no names at all. But there were two separate people at Hometeam that had legit.
Yeah,
legit.
Yeah,
there was also some bunk going on, but there were two people. I just don't want them to be listening to this going, they don't think my shit's legit. But there were two people that I know.
Yeah, and right. we all know who they are.
Yeah,
we all know exactly who they are.
It's Hometeam, I guess, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But no, there is a lot of it's just Everclear and apple juice, concentrate.
Yeah, cinnamon and lemon or whatever they want to make it.
All right. Where are you going to be this weekend?
I will be at the Blueberry Patch with you guys.
Yeah, well that makes it easy, doesn't it?
Running sound for you.
Saturday night. My computer's over there now, so I can't. Saturday.
The Blueberry Patch Ball.
Mardi Gras Ball. Dress up. We got to get masks. We haven't gotten our masks yet.
We're going to go to the party store.
Mardi Gras, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like Mardi Gras themed, and it's like they say dress fancy. Yeah. I don't know how fancy I'm going to be able to get, but I'll try to blend in.
I'm going to be gone. I'll be in Oklahoma seeing my family.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Oklahoma,
huh? Oklahoma, Reverend comes sweeping down the plains.
What about you, Cody? You going to Oklahoma?
Nope.
You coming to the Blueberry Patch?
I mean, why not? I'll try to blend in. I'll wear a masquerade face with my Viking horns.
With your Viking horns. Yeah, just do up the Viking horns. Hang some beads off the horns. You'll be in good shape.
All right, we're good to go.
Guys, thank you so much for doing this. Blueberry Patch this Saturday. Applebutter Express at the Mardi Gras Ball that we're doing. It's going to be awesome. Come see Funky D. Now that we know some tunes together, bring a keyboard up.
Of course I will.
And we'll play, and that would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. We've had Funky D. Thank you. We've had Jenelle. Thank you so much. And we've had Mr. Cody Bean. Janelle and Cody Bean.
You.
Got Shannon in here. Thank you guys so much for doing this. This has been the Applebutter Podcast, episode number 3.
That's right. Happy podcast.
Woo.
We win.
It's our 3rd anniversary. Let's all do a shot.
Doing a shot of Fireball.
Yeah.
Home team.
To Hometeam.
Twist my arm.
To Hometeam, everybody.
To Hometeam. We love you all.
There you go. Hey, goodbye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.
The valley, come downtown, got to rumble in the alley. Whoa, now you don't know the shape I'm in. Has anybody seen my lady? It's living alone, it's gonna drive me crazy. Whoa, well you don't know the shape I'm in. I'm gonna go down by the water, but I ain't gonna jump in, no, no. I'll just be looking for my maker, and I hear that that's where she been low. Out of 9 lives, I spent 7. How in the world the sheriff.